Hello and welcome to the United Stand. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. We're live a couple of minutes before team news because we've got a big giveaway today that I need to speak to you about at 2:45. So 2:45, which is what, 45 minutes away, almost a half of football. We will be giving away a Manchester United shirt through the Fan League app. The link in the video description is to sign up. All you've got to do is sign yourself up through the link in the video description. It's absolutely free. When you're on the app, click play. And you just pick 13 result. Well, they've got 13 fixtures for you there. You pick home, away, win, or a draw. Not the exact score. Home, draw, or away. 13 games. If you get 13 right, you're probably going to win about 2 grand of that pot. 12 is, well, it won't be quite 2 grand. That will go up, but about 1,500. 12 will get you about 200, 11 results will get you about 50, and I think 10 gets you about 20 quid. So link in video description to play that. But the brilliant thing about this is also you'll go in the draw to win a Manchester United shirt. But the brilliant thing is you can also play against United standers. This is where we're having the most fun. So people who've signed up through the link in the video description, I get a notification, then I will send you an invitation. So if you've already signed up previously or you're doing it now, what you need to do is go play the game, make sure you've collected your scores, because otherwise you're not going to get your scores. Go to Connect, bottom left-hand corner, go to My Leagues. If you've already signed up before, just check your invitations and see if you've had an invitation from the United Stand. When it loads up, check your invitations. I've had a few league invites, which I'm not going to accept. Check your invitations. You'll have one for the United Stand. Click it, and it will put you into this United Stand League here, which we play every week. But the brilliant thing about it is that it's done on your average score. So you could sign up today. You could have signed up 4 weeks ago. There won't be any detriment to the leaderboard because it's done based on your average score. So at the moment, Samuel Hyton's on the top with 11, which his average score is 11 out of 13. Although, look at that, surprise, surprise, joint at 5th place. The United Stand with an average of 8. So link in the video description for that. Play it, sign yourself up. That'll put you in the draw to win a United shirt at 2:45. And check your invitations once you've signed up. Give me about 10 minutes because I'll be sending the invitations as people sign up. Link in video description. So let's bring it back for the moment. Link in the video description for that. But everything now is focused on Manchester United and Manchester United team news. There is talk that Mkhitaryan will start this game today. Mourinho saying he's been dropped quite rightly for the last couple of games, but he will play in this game because he deserves to come back in. He lied, he lied, he lied. He will not start the game today. Ooh. De Gea's in goal. Valencia's at right back. Lindelof and Smalling and Ashley Young. I thought Lindelof might play today. I thought he might give Rojo a little bit of a rest. Pogba, Mata, Matic, Rashford, Martial, Lukaku. It's the same team as Newcastle. We're going to win comfortably. Romero in goal. Rojo, Fellaini, Herrera, Mkhitaryan, McTominay and Ibrahimovic. I'm very happy with that team, as you can probably tell. Exactly the right sort of team I think we should be picking for this game. I don't know what you lot think, but I think it's a good team, and I'm very, very happy with it. I'm just so happy that Martial's playing, and as Simsable says, Martial starting's good. Really good team. My feelings exactly, says Moada. Same team as versus Newcastle, says Sandeep. Mkhitaryan's on the bench. Lineup, says Mohammed. So it's the same team that played against Newcastle last week. And so that means Martial, Rashford up front. And Martial and Rashford on the wings, sorry. Lukaku up front. Pogba and Matic with Mata at number 10. Lindelof and Smalling, Young, Valencia and De Gea in goal. And I will start typing out that team news for you because I know a lot of you like to have it up on the screen. But in absolute seriousness, I'm pleased by Jose. You know, Jose Mourinho doesn't need a pat on the back from any of us lot. But Zach Uli hopes that Brighton wins. Sit down, mate. You'll be waiting a long time. That's not going to happen today. This is 3 points for United. There's just no way that this team will not win this game. There isn't a way on earth we won't win it. But I'm glad that I want to give Mourinho a pat on the back because it's exactly the sort of team I think we should be picking in this game. And I think, you know, in midweek, obviously it wasn't the result that we wanted, although we've not really melted down about it because I don't think it's that significant. But I like the way that Mourinho hasn't taken a negative view on that result and allowed it to cloud his issue in relation to the team that's going to play today, because it shouldn't do. It really shouldn't do. This team is last week played really, really well, and I presume Lingard's on the bench. I'm just guessing at the bench here, and the only negative I would say is possibly, and I'm not 100% sure, so I'm just going to check. Rojo, Fellaini, Herrera, McTominay, Mkhitaryan. No Luke Shaw on the bench is a little bit disappointing, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest, that is a little bit of a disappointment, but that's the only disappointment I would have. So the team news is going on the bottom. I'm not sure. I've put Jesse Lingard on the bench, and I'm not 100% sure he is. How many subs have we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lingard's not on there, is he? Well, you know, has Lingard been dropped because he's not been playing well enough? I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, Pogba's playing, Martial's playing. That means Manchester United will win, because they're our two they're our two best flair players, aren't they? And as Smooth says, it's a positive lineup. How do you join the fan league? Says Tyrone Williams. Yes, we are giving away a Manchester United shirt at 2:45. Rory Doran's just signed up at 2:45, so 40 minutes. All you need to do for now, Tyrone, is go through the link in the video description, sign yourself up, it's free, and then when I've got Ross on, I'll start sending invites out and I'll show you where you can get them. But in the first step to get yourself in the draw is link in the video description, play the game where it says play, pick your 13 results, home, win, draw or away, and then you'll get your invitation probably in the next 10 minutes. Also, let me just remind you all as well that we are live, obviously, on the United Stand, and you're all tuning in, which is great for this I quite like 3 o'clock kickoffs on a Saturday. I know it's a pain in the arse to watch, it really is, but I do like them because, you know, you get the game done and we can focus on other things. Darian Jones, what do you think of Messi's new buyout clause? 700 million, closing in $1 billion. Football needs more regulation. I take it Messi signed his new contract then at Barcelona. Yeah, 2 hours ago, Messi signs his new contract. I did expect it to happen. I was slightly nervous that he could be looking at going to Manchester City, but apparently that was always never going to be the case. And in fact, it isn't the case. But team news there: De Gea in goal, Valencia, Smalling, Lindelof, Young, Matic and Pogba, Mata at number 10. Mata at number 10, sorry, Rashford and Martial, Lukaku up front. We're home against Brighton. I think there's no other result today that can happen other than a United win. Any other result, there's going to be a meltdown, and we must win this game. But I'm very happy with that team. Ross, can you hear me?
How you doing, Mark? You alright?
Yeah, good, thanks. You?
Yeah, really good, mate. Really good.
Happy with that team?
Happy with that team. There's the obvious one slight negative in it, but we all know it, so I don't need to say it. Apart from that,
I can't think what the obvious one is. Go on, tell me.
Well, it's obviously Lindelof. To be honest,
I thought
Rojo was an absolute magician midweek. In a very poor team, he was a proper shining light for us. So I'd have loved to have seen him play today, but the rest of it, I don't think. If anyone's complaining about it, you need to get your head checked out, because it's the team that we want to see. And yeah, Mata comes in, dictates the play, and let the rest of the. I think we should be tearing them apart today. And yeah, the weak point's Lindelof. And if you are a Brighton manager, that's what you'll be preying on. To be honest, a Lindelof mistake.
To be honest, I think I feel much like I did last week. I know we went 1-0 down against Newcastle, but on the watch-along, I was like, not concerned, not going to panic, we'll win this game. And I think the right team selection can set you up confidently as a fan, you know, before a ball's been kicked. And we've been doing this for a couple of years now. And how many times have we seen team selections that have put us on the back foot, whether it was Van Gaal or sometimes Mourinho? But last week I felt it, and this week I felt it. There is not, I mean, I know what they say, confidence before a fall, but there is nothing in me that doesn't trust this team to win this game. Even if Brighton were given a 2-0 head start, I'd still think we'll win 4-2. Because you've got Pogba and Matic there. I think they're the best midfield in the league. This is the sort of game, look, whether Mata can play at number 10 away at Arsenal or away at Man City is another matter, pardon the pun, but I think at home against Brighton, Mata's perfect for this. You've got Rashford and Martial for the flair on the flanks. You've got Lukaku, who I like. And yeah, maybe Lindelof's the weakness, but I think also it's the perfect game for Lindelof. We've spent 30 million on him. I haven't given up on him yet. The only way he's going to get better is by playing games. He played well against Newcastle last week, apart from the slip. This week, perfect game for Mourinho. He's got to give him a go, and these are the games to give him a go in. I've got total trust in Smalling, Valencia, De Gea and Young. So that team for me, I can't see any other result other than a United win. I said it in the preview. If we don't get a clean sheet and win this by 3 clear goals, I think we've failed today.
Yeah, definitely. And that's kind of, you're right. And we kind of said it last week, like, when that team selection come through, you're confident, and Newcastle wouldn't have been. And that's what I'm hoping for Brighton today, to be honest. I'm hoping the kind of defeated for a balls kicks kind of vibe, because that's how I'd be if I was in that Brighton lineup, because you're going to have to do some dogged defending today against what is a
dogged defending or dogging?
Just dogging, mate, just dogging. But no, it's a stupidly attacking lineup, to be honest, and that's what you want to do. Or what, you're at home. You don't really need to defend. And I'm content. And I think that whatever Lindelof does, I think he'll play well today. He is the weak point, obviously. It's just lack of confidence. But as a defender, you should have some hell of confidence having David De Gea playing behind you. So clean sheet for me today.
Yeah, a few people not happy about Rojo. Just very quickly before we start talking about Rojo, I must just mention something as well. A few people are messaging in the comments, but I know we're talking about United, so I don't want to dwell on it too much. But the link in the video description is for Fan League. For those people who haven't signed up yet, when you've signed up, you just click play and you select your 13 results. It's free to do it. Home win, draw or away, to win the prizes. But to get into the United Stand League, you click Connect, which is there. You click My Leagues, which will load up, and then you just click on invitations. And everybody who's signing up at the moment, while Ross is signing, I'm sending the invitations out. So if you have signed up in the last few minutes or even the last couple of weeks and you've never had your invitation, click Connect, left corner, click Invitations, and you should have United Stand there. You click United Stand and then you accept it, and that will put you into our league, where you'll be able to compete against everybody and see how you're doing. So that's how you do that. But back to Rojo. Obviously, you're disappointed that he's not starting, Ross. I think there's a lot of people in the live comments. Quezzy Browns just said Rojo question mark. But AJ Nels just hit the nail on the head. He says, we're playing midweek, Rojo will play then. Which, again, I totally agree with. I think it was my concern. We spoke about Pogba in the week. He got through that, so it was genius by Mourinho to get more games in his legs. But we have got Watford on Tuesday, which is massive. We have got Arsenal a week today, which is massive. Pogba and, yes, Rojo are more important in those games. And maybe it was a little bit of a big ask to use Rojo Wednesday night, today, Tuesday, and Arsenal. 4 games in, what, a week and a half. So if there was if there was ever a game to give Rojo a rest, who was man of the match for me the other night, then it was today.
But I will continue anyway. Yeah, Rojo, he does need a little bit of protecting, to be honest, and it's kind of the right thing to do. But at the same time, I was so shocked at how well he played midweek, because coming back from an injury like that, I was expecting a rustier performance than anything Lindelof's thrown at us this season. But it was phenomenal. And yeah, we probably will need him midweek. At home is kind of the game where you can risk a Lindelof at the minute. And like you say, build his confidence up. The subs would be interesting today, though, because we know that regardless of what's happening, Jose's going to want to shoehorn Zlatan in at some point, which is fair enough. I think he's been making a pretty decent impact. It'd be interesting what he does with Pogba, because, again, midweek game, I'd like to see his minutes managed, because he's just so important for us. We can't risk him, to be honest. So a nice sort of 2-goal half-time lead would be perfect. Go into 3-0 sort of in the 60th minute and just take all the big players off would be what I'd be looking to do today.
Kwame, Paul Brandon, Traherne, Callum O'Reilly, Adam Root, Otis Peris. Your invitations are going through now, so you should have them in your inbox for Fan League anytime in the next few seconds. Yeah, I think you're right about Pogba. Again, you'd be looking ideally 2-0 up, 70 minutes gone, bring Fellaini on, and that's Pogba's progress again. I don't think we'll actually see Rojo today because there's no need. I certainly think we'll see something of Zlatan. I was speaking to Flex. If you are going to the game today, Flex will be out there doing the fan cams after the game between Hotel Football and Old Trafford on the bridge there. So do catch him and give us your thoughts. But we were talking this morning, Ross, and he was saying, look, I don't agree, and I personally don't agree with this clamour to drop Lukaku for Zlatan. I'm very big on the fact that people are not realising what happens when Zlatan plays as a number 9, which is the defence of the opposition moves forward 20 yards and space disappears, and Lukaku gets us that through his work off the ball. But what Flex did say is that if Zlatan comes on, Mourinho's got to learn to substitute Lukaku, because putting Lukaku out on the wing just because you don't want to sub him is just so wrong. He's not a winger. He's got no first touch. He's not that skillful. Definitely not the player to use in that situation. Ross, are you still with me?
Yeah, I do apologise, Mark. It's
right.
Typical Scott.
No, it's all right. I was just saying there. What's your thoughts on when Zlatan comes on, Lukaku moves out to the wing? Because Flex was speaking to me this morning, dead against it. He says, you know, we've got people who can naturally play on the wing. It's not a good idea to be putting Lukaku out there just because you don't want to drop him.
Totally agree, mate. Flex is spot on there. It winds me up, and Lukaku kind of he does it automatically, and he should stand up for himself a bit more and go, hang on, I'm the £75 million striker you've played to play down the middle, and despite a slight drop in goal scoring form, I've pretty much done the business this season and done what I've needed to do. So and Zlatan for me, after the injury, given how he performed last season, I know the goals were good, but he was a bit slow. He didn't run in behind. He shouldn't be playing striker for us. And I think that the fans, I don't know if we'll turn on him, but we'd start to get frustrated. But for me, if he drops in behind, plays at number 10, which we're desperate for decent number 10s, because at the minute all we've got is Mata. All the others can start off as far as I'm concerned. He should be playing number 10 and supporting Lukaku. Play them together. Don't shove Lukaku outright. And I found it interesting because when Jose sent Zlatan on, Zlatan ran on the pitch and he kind of gave the number 3 symbol, which meant 3 up front, Lukaku on the right. It was obviously Rashford, whoever on the left. But Zlatan down the middle. If you're playing that 3 up front, you need a quick get in behind player down the middle, and that's not Zlatan. So yeah, number 10 for me. He's got it on his back. Why doesn't he play there?
Exactly. Tyler Neem says Lukaku's going to score 2 today. I said it last night. I hijacked the United Stand Twitter and said Lukaku will score tomorrow. I bet any money, and I do think he's going to score today. I mean, let's do the predictions. Then I wanted to have a quick chat about Mourinho. If you are signing up for Fan League, it's free. Don't worry. Avinash has just signed up. The invitations are being sent through, so just check that bottom left corner option, and then we'll go through it again in a minute. But yeah, I'm going to go United 3-0 and Lukaku to score, Ross, today.
That's decent, that, and I will go for something a little bit similar, but just because of what we do at Old Trafford, I'm going to go with 4-0 because it seems to be it's the safer one, which seems crazy. But Lukaku just scored. He's got to score today for me, for himself. Yeah, for himself mainly more than anything, because he does seem low on confidence, and I want to see. I want to see like a proper finish from Lukaku. I don't want to see through the keeper's legs. I want to see a really calm, finish, because even the last few goals he scored, all his finishes have seemed a bit rash, which is why he missed that opportunity midweek, because you can't just sort of close your eyes and blaze it at the goal and hope it goes in. We want a bit more composure from him, which he's got. So yeah, United win and a hopeful Lukaku goal.
Matthew Bowden, I will send you your invitation in a minute. I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Because Lukaku does score against the little teams. I think it's a stick that people use to sort of say, oh, he's a bottle job, he just scores against the little teams. But that's where we went wrong last year. We couldn't score in these sort of games. So it's not, at least he scores goals. And, I think the criticism of Lukaku is unfair. I like what he brings to us. He does give space to the players behind him. Mata should benefit from that, and Pogba today. But those who moan about his first touch or his flat track bully, or or he needs more than one chance to score a goal. We knew all this when we signed him, and expecting him to improve that in 3 months, I think you've got to judge him at the end of the season, and I think he's doing okay. We're still second in the league. We've, he's not really cost us that many points. He cost us a win on Wednesday, I agree. So did Fellaini. But in the league, how many points has he cost us? Arguably, Stoke, last 5 minutes, he should have scored that chance. But if Phil Jones doesn't slip, we're not 2-2 anyway. But I think we'll be fine. I think Lukaku will score. I just saw a tweet on the United Stand Twitter account there, Ross, about the press and fans are very quick to call Jose negative when the results don't go the way. But for the second week in a row, a very, very attacking, entertaining, sort of almost a fan 11, we called it last week. It was pretty much the team the fans want to see. Second week in a row he's done it. He himself said last night, yesterday, when Valencia and Young play, they're not fullbacks, they're wingers. This is a very, very attacking side. But does he get any credit for it? No, he doesn't, because it's all about when are United going to slip next. But actually, I think Jose does deserve a bit of credit, because no Lingard today. Maybe he's picked up an injury. Mkhitaryan's managed to get on the bench, but no Fellaini, no Herrera. It's as attacking as it can be.
Do you know what? If Pep played a team where he played 2 wingers as fullbacks, it'd be called the invention of football, and probably been given an award ceremony for it as well. But Jose does it, and he gets not a mention. And this is the most negative football manager in football, let's not forget. And he's playing 2 defenders on the pitch. Nothing gets said about it, you're right. And it does wind me up. Forget midweek. The team didn't perform for him. I did just forget that result, to be honest. And I'm pleased that result happened in that sort of game, because I think that we learned a lot about a lot of the players on that pitch. And I think in the big games, a lot of the players on that pitch, we won't see them. So it happened, and it was kind of okay. Yeah, he just the Jose out campaign just really winds me up, and there's always a few on Twitter, and they're just kind of waiting for him to slip up. Well, you're gonna probably have to wait a long time, because this manager's, I think he's here to stay. I think despite the PSG stuff, he'll stay at United, and I think what he's done over the past few months, the grumblings, is absolutely spot on. And why people are having a go at a manager because he's not happy with the board that are pulling pennies out of the club, I find it bizarre. And he's right. He should have the same resources as Pep Guardiola when Woodward goes to the board meetings and shows off about how much we've earned. Well, spend it, invest it, and then the best manager in the world, with the best club in the world, with the best fans in the world, can then celebrate these new players and start winning things. And it's really showed. I think this season showed more than anything. I think Jose's done it right. I think just the depth of our team has really been highlighted. And we say it every year, don't we? But this January and summer is going to be, again, some of the biggest that we've ever had, depending on what we do. If we don't spend, it'll be disaster. If we do, it needs to be big.
Yeah, I would agree. We're going to talk about Luke Shaw in a minute, because a lot of people are on about that, and obviously we want to respond to what people are saying. Today is potentially a big day for us, United Stand, and you, the United Standers in the community. Some people think we can hit 150,000 subscribers today. If you are new, the subscriber count is there below the live comments. Do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner is the hologram. Subscribe to the United Stand. Join the community. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. Monday night is the Skype show where you can Skype in. Sunday Night Live is the topical show. We've got a weekly transfer show. Every time there's a match like there is today, we're live an hour before with the team news, discussing that right the way through till full time, keeping you up to date. So subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and let's see if we can hit a significant landmark of 150,000 subscribers. And thinking of that, we're giving away a Manchester United shirt, and we're giving it away in 24 minutes time. How do you get yourself in that draw? Link is in the video description for Fan League. It's an app that you can download through that link in the video description. It's free to play. You play it by clicking play, funnily enough, and then there's 13 fixtures that Fan League have put forward. You've just got to pick home win, draw, or away win. You can. I've picked all 3 there and all 3 there, but that will cost you extra to do it. There's a pot there. But the great thing about this is it's a bit of fun with that, but the real fun comes with clicking the connect button there, because when you sign up through the link in the video description, I get a notification that you're signing up, and I'm getting a few coming through now. What I'm doing then is sending you all invitations. So if you click that connect button in the bottom left hand corner, then you click your invitations, you'll have a league invite pending and it will say the United Stand. Click that, accept it, it'll put you into the United Stand League. And it doesn't matter. I know people will be saying this is week 13 of the Premier League, I'll be too far behind. It's based on your average score. So even if you've been playing for 3 weeks or you start this week, you could still end up being top of the league, like our man Simon Heighton is, with 11 out. His average score is 11 out of 13. We're in 5th place with an average score of 8. So get signed up, link in the video description, and we'll be picking somebody at random out of that league. Unfortunately, it won't be you, Simon Heighton, just because you're top, to win a United shirt, and that'll be in 22 minutes' time. So link in the video description, free to do it, and just keep out an eye for your invitations, which I'll be doing whilst Ross is talking, and I'm talking as well. But a few people talking about Luke Shaw, Ross. He's been on the bench for the last 2 games, off the bench today. I always find that one weird, that you're on the bench, especially in Luke Shaw's case, where, you know, we didn't really expect him to be on the bench, and he's on the bench for 2 significant first team games for United, off the bench today, and he never even got a minute.
I think his career may be over at Manchester United, to be honest. There seems like there's no way in from him, and I think Young is our best left back at the minute. I think that's right. His crossing abilities is phenomenal, and it really helps. But it is a shame. It's a shame that Jose hasn't got the time to work with him, because I think you've said it, and I think all the fans recognise that if he's worked on, Luke Shaw will be a phenomenal player. And I think what's going to be disappointing is that he will leave and he will go somewhere and turn out half decent. But whether he will be the Luke Shaw that we thought we were buying, I don't think so. I think the injury has hindered his career quite a lot, as it does a lot of players in injury like that. It takes a real beast to bounce back from it. I think Valencia did, but others don't. And it is a shame. It's disappointing to see, because I think he's a little bit of a fan's favourite, even though he hasn't really played a lot. But yeah, I think we'll see the end of Luke Shaw. And I
certainly don't think you need. And somebody just said it there. Cranium1210 said it, and other people have said it as well. Why have we got Herrera, Fellaini, and McTominay on the bench today? Because effectively they're all the same player. You know, none of them are really dynamic going forward, and that's what I mean by they're all the same option really for me. Yes, one's tall, yes, one's a bit quicker, and yes, one's young and from the youth setup, but actually you could pretty much close your eyes and point at the one who's coming on for Matic or Pogba, because they're not, there's no difference there. You know, if that was Herrera, Pereira and Mata, or you've got 3 different options there, but they're the same player. So defensively, our only defensive option is Rojo. No Blind, no Darmian. I'm surprised that he didn't just put Shaw on there today. Maybe Mourinho's got a bit mixed up with this whole United have had a youth player in the matchday squad since 1937. And because Lingard's not on the bench and Mkhitaryan is, he's thought, oh, I better put McTominay on there, and not realised that Rashford's from the youth setup. Because I do think the McTominay on the bench thing today is a bit of a waste of time. Just if you want to put McTominay on there, just don't have Herrera on there, or don't have Fellaini on there, and put Shaw on there. I think we're a bit overstacked on the bench, but I'm nitpicking because I'm very happy with the first team. And Luke Shaw, Adrian says, Mark, let Shaw go. Paul Robinson saying Shaw is done. Tyrone Williams saying he's not had a proper chance. I think today would have been a good game to give him a chance. I certainly like Young. I do agree with you, Ross, but defensively, I think he's poor, and I think that's our weak area. But going forward, and we want to go forward today, then of course Ashley Young should start.
Later on, we should have a little mention of the missing man Mkhitaryan creeping his way onto our bench as well. But for me, what you just said, one defender, that really highlights what you said earlier, that Rojo's not coming on today. He's not going to put Rojo on and then have no defenders on the bench. He always likes to have options. So that back four will play the whole game, which is good. It will give them confidence. But yeah, Luke Shaw, he's gone as far as I'm concerned. Maybe them 2 bench appearances was what Jose's done before, trying to get his sale value up. I don't know, but I'd wish he'd go out on loan, actually, Luke Shaw, because I just think that if he gets given a run of the games, he would be really handy. So if and when we do sell him, there at least bare minimum has to be a buyback clause like there was on Memphis, because I still think he's going to come good, but he won't come good at United. And to a point, it's right. Maybe we're not in a situation where we can nurse players through. I think we need the best players playing it all the time, and at the minute it seems to be Ashley Young. I think the thing that gets on the United fans' nerves is when players like Darmian make the bench over him, because wow, is he rubbish.
They were shocking the other night, weren't they? Both him and Blind were really bad.
Terrible.
In fact, I saw something in the week, and apologies because I know it's still a little bit early, but there was a tweet, and you know when you start reading a tweet and you think it's not going to end the way that you read it, thinking it's going to be a very good point about football, and then actually it just blows your mind. It was like the biggest mistake Darmian's parents made was the biggest mistake Darmian's dad made was not pulling out. You know, it's just like absolutely burns him. But it's, you know, he was bad. I was a big fan of Darmian, but I think he started well. Then Van Gaal messed around with his confidence, and ever since then, I've never felt he got back to the player he was when he first came. As for Blind, I think Blind's a great player to have, but our squad's too big for him, and he's a squad player. And we've got a lot of good centre backs now, so we can't play Blind there. And as a left back, I think he showed up on the other night that he kept dozing and getting caught for pace. They did that same player who scored for Basel did actually hit the bar as well. So I'm one with you and Ross. I hope Luke Shaw goes. I don't hope he goes, but I hope if he does go to somewhere like Spurs, and we see the Luke Shaw that I believe still exists. But that doesn't mean I would still be very angry. Even though I want Luke Shaw to be given a chance, I would be still very angry if we were going, told you so, Jose. You got another one got away. Because I seen that this morning, or was it late last night, from Hazard, sticking his nose into United and Mourinho's business again, saying, oh, Mourinho made another mistake, letting Salah go. He didn't. Salah was crap at Chelsea and he let him go. And I don't like that, oh, you got it wrong. Because actually, with Luke Shaw, and with any management, whether you're managing a fish and chip shop or Manchester United, if you take on a job and there are people who are working there that you've not picked, and for whatever reason you don't like them, then you're the manager. It's up to you. I mean, Luke Shaw could be the player I think he is, but it could just be that Mourinho, nothing personal, just doesn't like the way he trains, doesn't like his attitude, doesn't like his approach to the game, doesn't like the way he positions himself. There might be something that he just doesn't like, and he's worked with him and he can't fix it, and he wants somebody different, and that's Mourinho's choice. Yeah,
I think that's just the the managers nowadays that only have literally 2 games and then they can get sacked. They haven't got the time to nurture players into becoming, what they should be. And that's why Jose had to get rid of De Bruyne and Salah. He didn't get rid of them because they weren't good enough. He got rid of them because he couldn't nurture them into a starting team role at that club, because he'd have got sacked if he lost 2 games. So what he's done is sell them to a smaller club, let them have 2 seasons, and probably had an option to buy them back. Maybe the mistake was the club not putting buyback clauses in, which what United have actually been doing really well, which was a really good touch to Memphis's sale. But it's not his fault at all. I think loads of the United stand 3 they're out saying Fergie sold Pogba. It's not like. It's not the be-all and end-all. And he knew that they had talent. No manager has the time. And it's the same with Luke Shaw. Jose doesn't have the time to nurture Luke Shaw in, because if he loses a few games playing Luke Shaw at left-back, all of a sudden the Jose out campaign starts again.
Yeah, and I don't know whether it was... I've sent the latest invitations for Fan League if you've signed up, so just check through the bottom left-hand option, connect, and check your invitations. IDO. I don't know whether it was you who said it the other night, or maybe it was Rodney, basically saying that the Premier League. The problem with the Premier League is it's great to watch, it's very competitive, but there's no respite. Every game's a challenge. This game, even today, yeah, we should win it, but would you put your mortgage on it? Yeah, some people probably would, but we've seen it before in football. It could just be one of those days where you don't hit the back of the net and Brighton get a point. We've seen that. So there's always that trepidation in the Premier League that you just never know. In clubs like in leagues like La Liga and the French league now for PSG, if they're at home against a team from the bottom half of that table, they're going to win it. 99 times out of 100 they're going to win it, and they're going to win it well. And I suppose that's true what you just said there about time. You know, people are on about Angel Gomez. I am. Let's get him in the first team squad. Let's give him some game time. But, you know, and there is this thought that Gomez could go to Barcelona, and people are like, what can Barcelona offer over United? Well, what Barcelona can offer, as well as being one of the biggest clubs in the world, and their style of the play is always, you know, they never get accused of parking the bus, whether that's fair or not. But the other thing is that Barcelona can say, we will start you in 5 or 6 La Liga games a season. Whereas Mourinho can't do that, because Barcelona will have 5 or 6 games at home a season against teams that are absolute pub teams, where they can play Angel Gomez, and they know they're going to still win. Mourinho, and we know Mourinho's not great with the youth, but even a Van Gaal, who did like the youth, I'm sure he'd try and give Angel Gomez minutes, but whether he could do it in a Premier League game, even in a game like Brighton today, it's a massive risk, because it is so competitive.
Yeah, and you lose a midweek game in a game that pretty much meant absolutely nothing, because we're still going to top that group. And the reaction is Jose Mourinho out, and that's what football is nowadays, and that's what we're coping with, which will always push Mourinho, which will always push Mourinho not to play youth. And also, I think you risk upsetting a few maybe key players, because I think all of a sudden, if Angel Gomez starts getting in the team over the Fellaini's and Herrera's, they start to realise that they have no future at the club, and you can't do that to them too early on in a season. You've got to start doing that sort of thing in April, when you know they've only got a month left and you can get rid of them.
Yeah, definitely. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Actually, just before we start taking some of the comments, I better be fair. There's only 10 minutes left for people to enter to win the Manchester United shirt. The link is in the video description for Fan League, and I'm aware if you're in America and South Africa you can't actually enter. That's, you know, unfortunate. It's not. It's obviously not our app. So it's the Fan League app. The link is in the video description. You've got 10 minutes to enter, and then we're going to announce the winner. Once you have signed up, it's free to do it and it's free to play. I'll get a notification that you've signed up. The way you play is 13 fixtures across the Premier League and the Championship. You pick home, win, draw or away across 13 fixtures. If you get all 13 right, you're probably going to win yourself about 1,500, 12 about 300, 11 results about 100, and then 10 results about 20 quid. So it's free to have a play on that. But the best thing about it is as well, if you click the connect option, you go to my leagues, you check your invitations, you will get an invitation from the United Stand to join our league. It won't be instantaneous. Give us a few minutes, because we get notified every time somebody signs up, and then we send the invitation out. So check your invitations. It will say league invite pending from the United Stand. Click it, agree, and then you will automatically be in the United Stand League. And don't worry, because it doesn't matter when you sign up, whether it was 3 weeks ago or today, because it averages your score. You could still be top of the league tonight with an average score of well, it averages your score. So if you got 11 right, like Samuel Heighton did, he's top with 11. We've been playing a few weeks and we've got an average score of 8, but we're still in 5th because we know our football. Link in the video description. We'll be announcing the winner in 10 minutes time. You automatically go in the draw when you're in the United Stand League. Samuel Devine's just signed up, because I've just got a notification. I'll send your invitation now. But let's have a look. Link in the video description for that. Marco makes a good point, Ross. Anthony Martial starting again. That's becoming quite a consistent thing. And we spoke about it in the international break, didn't we? Mostly Martial was on the bench before. We said over the international break, you know, we've lost a couple of games, Huddersfield and Chelsea. It's great having Martial coming on for the last 10-20 minutes and killing teams, but actually he is one of the 2 best players at our club. That experiment needs to stop. He needs to be starting games now. And to be fair, he started the last 3.
He's also, you know, excluding Pogba from this, the most informed player at our club as well. He's probably in the best form I've seen him. And again, we were talking about that before the game midweek, about the other aspects to his game which he's added. In that game, he suddenly added that he's probably got the best cross in our team. I mean, them 2 balls to Fellaini, why he wasn't putting them in the back of the net, I don't know. Must have a triangle head or something, because yeah, wow, he's a fantastic crosser of the ball, and maybe we'll see a little bit of that from him today. So yeah, so in form, and push Rashford out to the right. I think Rashford looks quite effective out on the right as well, and it saves we've actually got one person cutting in on the right, and we've got someone running the wings on the one person cutting in on the left, someone running the right, and we haven't had a player run down our right wing in yonks. And I think it's bringing out the best in Valencia, because we saw a little Rashford Valencia 1-2 last week, because Valencia hasn't had that. He's always run into open space. He's never really run into a player in front of him. So I think it's good, and the balance of the team is right. We can now actually play down either wing instead of it all going down the left. So it makes sense. And Jose is learning. He is slowly learning. And, you know, we said it when he dropped Mkhitaryan, that he's getting most of the decisions right with the team selection now, which hasn't happened. A United manager hasn't got selection right in a long time.
Yeah, it is, and I think you're right. Watching the game the other night, some people said Martial didn't play that well. I mean, he had that great run where he fought off 2 defenders, impossible angle, nearly scored. He put a couple on Fellaini's head. He put one on Lukaku. I mean, he should have come away from that game with 2 assists, and he's probably annoyed that he didn't, because the goals have been good this season, but he's been getting a lot of assists as well. Notably got one for France as well, which was a really good one in the international break. So he's doing. Him and Pogba, I think last season had mixed seasons, to be generous, but this year, a year under Mourinho, understanding what he wants, understanding the league and how it works playing under Mourinho, I think those two have been fantastic. And I think that has highlighted what you were on about with Mkhitaryan, is that, you know, he's got no excuse. We've said that many times. This is his 2nd season and he should be performing. Back on the bench today. Mourinho vocally talking about him yesterday, said he would be back involved. Wouldn't commit to whether he would start or not, and obviously he isn't starting. But you'd expect Mkhitaryan maybe to get the last 10-20 minutes, and we know that when he was doing well, he was stat padding in that time. Look, I've not given up on Mkhitaryan. I don't know whether you have, Ross, or people at home. I haven't given up on him, but it was totally right to drop him. It was totally right to give him that kick up the backside. It's how he responds to that now. I think if he comes back from being dropped and we still see the same Mkhitaryan, he's going to be in a world of trouble. But he might come back, realise, I'm going to get dropped, and that might be the thing that gets him back to what we want him to be.
Yeah, the reason I have given up on him is because I think that even a Mkhitaryan banging form isn't good enough for where we need to be. I think a Mkhitaryan in form still can't lace De Bruyne's boots, and I know that, you know, a lot of people won't like me saying that, but it's the reality of it, and that's why we're desperate for someone like Griezmann. We need a beast in number 10 to compete, a real phenomenal top 10 in the world player. I know Mkhitaryan made the shortlist for Team of the Year, but I thought that was generous, to be really honest. So, look, like you said, today he'll come on in the last 15 minutes. He'll probably get 7 assists. And that might be what his future is at United if he has one, because he can't start games. There's no way he can start the Man City game because he just doesn't perform, and he fades so much. Which, you're right, maybe a fully fit, raring to go Mkhitaryan fighting for his place, coming on in the last 10 minutes, is what he should be doing for our team. So, yeah, that's the bitter truth about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm just tweeting something out myself here about Martial. So important, him and Pogba. I think, you know, somebody just in the live comments there are saying, where would we be without Martial and Pogba? I think we saw on Wednesday night where we'd be. We go from being an attacking, expansive side to a pretty slow and uncreative side. To me, they are the 2 best players. You've said it yourself, and I think I agree with you as well. We need more than 2. We do need another 2 players like that, whether it's Griezmann and Ozil, whether it's, you know, a Perisic type. I think Pogba and Martial make us better. They make us scary, and they make Lukaku better, and they make Rashford better. Without them, we look clueless, and I think we need to get a couple of players like that. And I don't think Zlatan's the answer. I love Zlatan. I'm intrigued by Zlatan, but in that last 20 minutes on Wednesday, my concern about Zlatan came to roost. That if he's the number 9, we're screwed, because he's not got the pace for it. If he's going to play, as you said, he's got to play in the number 10 position. Yeah,
and it's really, you know, I don't like saying it, but I feel that Zlatan's career should now go the way of the last. I like this last 15-20 minute cameo, and I think it should continue. I don't think he should ever really be starting games when we've got players like Lukaku. I mean, who are you dropping? Lukaku, Rashford, Martial. It's Juan Mata. And I don't agree with it, because I actually think, and today, Mata probably won't get no assists, he probably won't score, but he'll probably be our most effective player because he keeps the ball moving, which is what you need in that number 10. Sometimes, yes, it's nice to have a number 10 that can score 15, 20 goals a season, but Mata's developed into something else, and he creates a lot of space, and he does a lot of the really unselfish stuff that gets no credit, because the amount of time someone will mark Mata and he'll pull him out of a position and Pogba can just walk into the empty space, gets no credit whatsoever, which is why I do really like Juan Mata, and I'm really pleased that he's getting another run in the team, and he deserves it. He's worked hard for it, and you know, it's obviously really easy to like him because he's such a likeable guy, but on the football pitch, there is a reason why he got Player of the Year twice at Chelsea. You know, he didn't luck that. He's a phenomenal footballer.
No, I'd agree. Anyway, I'll let you get off, Ross. I know you've been on for quite a while today, which has been good. Are you coming on at half time?
Yes, sorry. No, sorry, I won't, mate, because I don't know if I'm going to be watching the game, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, well, it is the UK. Yeah,
exactly.
It would be illegal.
It would be illegal, yeah. So I'll be trying to watch it somehow, I'm sure.
Yeah, no worries. All right, mate. Well, tomorrow night, Sunday night, hopefully you'll be with us.
Cool, thanks, mate. Yeah, I'll be with you tomorrow.
And
catch you later.
I hope you're still drinking a Guinness, because losing to Brighton will be on you if you're not.
Do you know, I've stopped it after we lost to Huddersfield. I've packed it in, so at the minute I'm on the red wine, but yeah.
Right, have a glass of red then.
Cool.
All right, mate. Cheers for coming on. I'll speak to you soon.
See you later.
Ta-da.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
We've had a contribution from the legend that is Matthew Mkhitaryan. He says Martial and Pogba help turn nervous 1-0 wins or draws into commanding, dominant 3 or 4 goal wins. They put the final nail in the opponent's coffin. Those people who are concerned, it's a 3 o'clock kickoff in the UK. Obviously, it isn't on the TV. We've got this odd rule where you are a Manchester United fan, and if you want to watch Manchester United in the UK, you've got to be one of 70 odd thousand people who've got a ticket at Old Trafford. Ridiculous rule in the modern game. They need to change it. I personally am a massive advocate that if you are a Manchester United fan and you are willing to pay, let's say, £100 a year to watch every Manchester United game on the telly, they should do that. And I think Manchester United, the football club, would like that to happen, but we're still under that archaic rule. However, on the United Stand, we will keep you up to date with what is going on, the key moments. So don't worry, if you're not watching it, we will keep you up to date with that. George Kyle says, I think you might have got the word legend confused with bellend when talking about Matthew. All the banter's there going, and now Matthew says, yeah, they're going at each other. There's drama in the live comments. Anyway, can we hit 150,000 subscribers today? That's down to you in the live comments. That is your challenge. Obviously, I've got a lot of challenges ongoing myself when we're live doing the watch along, but your challenge is to share the link and get people subscribing. Bottom right hand corner is the subscribe hologram. Do click it. If you are new, look, it's not just about the watch along. Click subscribe and get involved, because this community is growing and it is fantastic. And as you can see on the live comments, we've got a real strong community. You'll love it. And live every night at 8 o'clock, Sunday to Friday. Monday night is the Skype show where you can call in. We've got transfer shows, previews, match reactions. We're live every game an hour before, right the way through till full time. You'll love it. So get involved, subscribe and get involved. 1,000 likes before kickoff. We've got 535. We've got 14 minutes. And Denzel's just subbed to the channel, so welcome. Welcome to the channel. Red Baron says Seagulls. Does he mean up the Seagulls? That's Brighton. What's your score prediction, says Aman. I am going to go Manchester United 3-0. Ross went 4-0. So, yeah, we're going to go with that. And this community is family, the best on the internet, says Sandeep. Yeah, I'd agree. I think you've hit the nail on the head there. So get involved, subscribe, and get sharing as well. Get liking. Let's see what we can do today, as anything's possible. Anyway, people are asking me about the shirt giveaway. Not forgotten about it. I just needed to double check if we've had any more people signing up on Fan League to join our league. So let me just click back and make sure, and then I can pick as a winner. So let's have a look. Winner, winner, chicken dinner of the shirt. I'm going to ask where everyone's watching from in a moment as well. Critic, you're an absolute idiot then, aren't you? Because he doesn't even support Manchester United. So why would you want to watch somebody talking about Manchester United who doesn't even bloody support us, you absolute dick? Anyway, a bit harsh, but I don't understand people who would rather hang around with somebody who doesn't even support Manchester United. Really, really odd. Right, let's have a look. We have got a winner for the Manchester United shirt. I'm just going to pick them out now. Oh, come on. We'll get there. So, the winner of the Manchester United shirt from Fan League is... Dum-dum-dum-dum. Let me see if I can do this. It should let me do it. I'm sending them a message now. And then I'll announce it, because then I know I've sent the message. Ryan Worthington, you've won the Manchester United shirt. I've sent you a message. Get in contact with us and we'll sort out getting that. So well done to Ryan. I don't know whether you're on the live comments or not, but well done. Manchester United shirt is yours, which is hopefully you're a Manchester United fan. You're on a Manchester United fan channel, so that would help. But let's have a look. Let's have a look where we are. I'm rocking this jumper today because it's bloody freezing in the UK. So normally I do have my Manchester United tracksuit on, but it's bloody freezing. So thanks Mark from Copenhagen, says Per Cruz, Denmark. I've been Manchester United fan for 50 years. Just newly found the channel, subscribed and love it. You're very, very welcome, pal, and I'm glad that you do enjoy it. We are 11 minutes away from kickoff for those who are asking. We could hit 150,000 subscribers today. We could do it, but it's going to be totally, utterly about you lot sharing it because, well, I'll be shouting it out as well, but let's see how we go. We could do it. Ryan Worthington won the shirt, for people who needed to know that, and he's had the message personally through to him on Fan League, so there'll be no... We've had somebody try and defraud us before and pretend to be somebody. Twix Space Raiders says Super Brew's better. Well, Super Brew's different to Fan League, but you can play both. They're both free to play. From the Netherlands, watching on the train, Mark, says Jake Davidson's. Yes, let's get telling us where you're all watching from then. This is one of my favourite parts of the show, and this just really shows what a global community, not only the United Stand is, the global United Stand family, but also the Manchester United support family, of just where we pull our fans in from. So we've got Alex is in Moncton, Canada. We've got Imani, who is in Barbados. We've got Chala, who's in Korea. We've got AJ Nell, who's just you cheeky get. I'll be disappointed if you have AJ, but I hope you're giving me some banter, or I'm putting you in the shade. Jamaica says the Joker. Winnipeg in Canada says Danny King. A few Canadians today. Scotland for Douglas. What a Scottish name. Nottinghamshire says Chocolate Cake 2001. Of course, Nottinghamshire is my origins. I wonder where in Nottinghamshire you are, because that's where I grew up. Barcelona says Nicholas Myers, and it's 12 minutes to 4. What's the weather like? Kieran Burns near Malahide. Philadelphia for Kenneth Brown. India for John Sharrell. EMH Gaming says he's in his bed. Is anyone with you? Serbia, Scotland, Antarctica. Nitesh is in India. Kenya, China. Birmingham, Scotland. Warsaw in Poland. Hong Kong. Harare in Zimbabwe. India. Big week for Zimbabwe. Bye-bye Mugabe. Ireland, India. Washington, Seattle. Zimbabwe, South Africa. Dennis from Belgium. Mangalore. Barcelona, Nepal, Ireland, Singapore. Watching from Barbados, says Suggy. Serbia again, Derbyshire, Porto. Botswana. in the house. Ireland, South Africa. Chad Sproul says he's inside my gym ball. It'll be a bit tight. Malmo. Something about Malmo always makes me just think of snow. A bit like Copenhagen. Kieran Colbeck says 150,000 subscriber hype. I've been here since 10,000. Amazing. I think there are still some people who've been in here since like the first 200 or 300, which is stunning, really. Obviously, I have, but it is amazing. New Zealand, Ukraine, Malaysia, Australia, Timbuktu, California, Bangladesh, Sweden, Australia. I mean, what's the time then? What's the time for everybody? What's the time, Mr. Wolf? I suppose, obviously, in Europe, it's around 3 or 4 o'clock. In America, I suppose it's early morning for some people. In Australia, you would be late night, earlier hours of the morning. So, yeah, I'm very nosy about that. Malaysia says Havids, Philadelphia. Old Trafford says Kez Singh. I'll be stunned if you're watching from Old Trafford because I've been to Old Trafford and the Wi-Fi is terrible. Swapisi says you've earned a subscriber. We're up 149,405. It's a big ask. Look, we hit 100,000 subscribers when we were live on air doing a watch along before. I want us to do it while we're on air for 150,000, but share. The share button underneath. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. Open your window and say, watch the United Stand. Shout it. Shout and share. Let's see if we can do it. Leicester, Mauritius. It's 7 PM. All right, people are telling me the time. This is where we get nosy then. So, Atra says it's 9:53 AM, but doesn't tell me where we are. Aaron Sutton says he's in Brighton, which is a bit awkward, but keep up the good work. It's 4:53 in Zimbabwe, and it's 8:23 PM in India, says Nitesh. Thanks for that. So that's a good time. That's a good time to be watching. 10 AM US East Coast, says Harp Hull. And 2 AM for the Aussies, says Brian O'Connor. So tea time, early evening in India, early morning in America, East Coast, and Iran it's 6:30, 2 AM in Australia. So there you go. That's the dedication of the United Stand. Fan League is an app. You can sign up for it. The link is in the video description. But 1,000 likes, says Vince Chapman. Yes, smash the 1,000 likes. You've only got 6 minutes to do it. I've neglected the likes today. We have a superstition of 1,000 likes before kickoff. 6 minutes to do it. So do hit the like button as well. And let's keep those subscribers ticking along. Right, we are 6 minutes away from kickoff. We will be keeping you up to date with the afternoon games in relation to what we'll be keeping you up to date with. We'll be keeping you up to date with the afternoon games. I'll keep an eye on those in a short moment. But we are getting very close to the kickoff, which I will obviously keep you up to date with. And hopefully, I'm not even going to say hopefully. Manchester United, we will win this game today. There is not a part of me that is in doubt about that. Of course, we will win this game because we need to win it, and there's
spilling
no
coffee on
reason not
themselves.
to think that.
But for everyone else, there's DirecTV. For #1 rated customer satisfaction over cable, switch to DirecTV, and this weekend only get a $200 reward card. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Okay, shut up. Bear with me.
More people shop online for the holidays than ever before. And the United States Postal Service delivers more of those purchases to home than anyone else in the country. Because we know even the smallest things are sometimes the biggest.
Oh, come on. Have I still got you? Anyway, team news for United, for those who aren't aware. De Gea in goal, Valencia at right back, Young left backs, Lindelof and Smalling, Matic and Pogba, Mata at 10, Rashford on the right, Martial on the left, and Lukaku up front, which is really, really good. Really looking forward to it. Can't wait. Where Scorers, you want to know my score predictions? I'm going to go with definitely Lukaku. Definitely Lukaku to score today. And I think that also you've got to look. You can't look beyond possibly. Mad Marcus is on. He's not on for the watch along. Is he in the live comments? I don't know. I haven't seen Mad Marcus in the live comments today, but hopefully he will join us at some point. Someone explain why it's not on the UK TV when it's in the UK. Well, Beastmaster, it's not on the UK because we've got this stupid 3 o'clock thing where basically they don't allow 3 o'clock kickoffs to be on the TV in the UK because it will apparently, according to them, stop people going to local games. Well, I don't know anybody in the Midlands who goes and watches people like Walsall or Solihull Moors or anyone like that just because United are playing at 3 o'clock. The reality is people will listen to it on the radio. They'll find a way to watch it. And if you are a supporter of your club, whether it's Manchester United, Arsenal or anything like that, I think it's bloody ridiculous that this sort of dictatorship doesn't allow you to watch your club when we're all happy to pay for it. I pay for BT Sports, I pay for Sky. I'm happy to pay for it. Well, I'm not happy. I think it costs a lot, but in Kieran Burns says even in Ireland you can watch it. It's just ridiculous. It's our, you know, I'm not like this, as you know, because Manchester United is a global club and your voice is as much as anybody's. But what I would say is that this is the English Premier League, and yet English people can't bloody watch it. It's ridiculous. It's silly, but it is what it is. It is what it is. And at the end of the day, I actually do quite like the 3 o'clock kickoffs because if you win, you've got your whole weekend ahead of you and you can sit back and you can enjoy it. And that's obviously great. 3-1 says pork chops. We need to get the timer up. That's totally and utterly my fault. Let's get that going because the game won't be long until it is officially up and running. Let's get you going. For those who are watching it in America and wherever else you're lucky enough to be watching it, if you can give us your updates. And also I've got nobody joining me today, so that would be appreciated as well. But it is 3 o'clock in the UK, and let me see how we do this. What I would say is that Manchester United against Brighton, there is no room for error. I don't expect there to be any room for error. I expect us to win comfortably. I've got total and utter confidence in this Manchester United side, and I expect us to win this game. I don't expect us to concede. I expect us to win at least 3-0, and hopefully we'll see another great attacking display where we can all enjoy match of the day tonight, which for those outside of the UK is a Saturday night review show where they show you all the highlights. I can't believe it's only a week ago that we did the 24-hour stream. That week has absolutely flown by. But I will start the timer as soon as the game kicks off. And Brighton, they shouldn't be causing Manchester United any problems today. Not a problem at all. Right, hopefully I've got this all on the lockdown. Well done. Uh-oh, didn't want to do that. I want to come over there for you. Oh, stop it. Stop it, you're shaking it. I'm not even putting it there. Right, where's me snaz? There it is. Okay, so we should be 22 seconds in. And hopefully we'll see a nice, comfortable 3-0 game for Manchester United, and let's do it. Let's rock and roll it. Fasten your seatbelts, folks. folks. I don't mean forks. We will win 2-1, says Ibrahim. It's only orange juice today, Chad. I'm not on it early today. Don't want to disappoint people, but I am not drinking today. No need to. I'm getting a lot of shine on me. Don't like that. Don't like the light when it's like that. It's too much shine. I'll sort that out in a minute. It's always harder without markers. Anyway, she was only 14 years old, says we should be winning this 3 or 5-0. Lukaku's just missed a big chance apparently, and oh, it's doing my bloody head in. I've got to turn that off. I can't stand it. I can't stand it when the light's not right. It'll be a little bit darker for a little bit, but sit down.
Rashford tried to turn, but it was emphatically cleared by Duffy and then well held up by Glenn Murray. When Brighton
Oh, I'm having all sorts of problems, folks. I'm back with you now, don't worry. Lighting and everything just going a little bit astray, but we're back, and let's catch up with what people are saying. I hope. Yeah, we should be able to get rid of you. Get rid of you. Okay. So, Patrick says Brighton actually starting off the game quite well. Brendan Tomboy, they almost scored. Very poor defending as usual, says Jurgen Klint. Well, yet again, it's down the left-hand side, isn't it? You can talk about Ashley Young going forward, and he's a fantastic player. But he is not fantastic when it comes to defensive play. But as I said, Manchester United... we'll be fine. We'll get through this game. We've got more than enough good players, and we're at Old Trafford, and we'll win it. Come on, Man United, you can do it, says Urshwanjar. Brighton should be up a goal, says Velo01. And 1-0 to West Brom, says Brian O'Connor. Interesting. That's at Wembley against Spurs. The old Wembley curse may be causing a problem for them again. Jude Dyke, I agree with you. I think Ashley Young offers us a lot going forward, but not so much going backwards. I'll tell you what the problem is. The reason United aren't winning yet and aren't doing very well is because we only got 908 likes before kickoff. Smash that like button, get us over 1,000, and watch what happens to Manchester United. They will blitz this game. United are on the attack at the moment, though, with Pogba. And I think in a game like this, what are we, just about 7 minutes into the game, that United are going to have a lot of ball in the final third, and Ishan says Lukaku's bricking it again, which means he's a little bit worried. But he's got it at the moment, little decent cross, but it's intercepted by Brighton. Look, we might have to be a little bit patient against Brighton. I remember last week we did have a little bit of a problem going 1-0 down to Newcastle. So we need to be a little bit careful. Elmer, that's very kind of you to offer that up. Very kind of that. But United are in here. They should do. Oh, what was that? I think it was Pogba. He gets himself into the box, loads of space, and just smashes it across the box aimlessly. Lukaku's playing on the right wing, says FNAO. Yeah, that is interesting. Because it looks like at the moment we've got Rashford. No, he's not playing out on the right wing at all. Well, I suppose he sort of is. I suppose he sort of is in a way. We'll keep an eye on that one. It's a really good point. Is Lukaku playing on the right wing? For those who are watching, what do you think? I think it's just a little bit of manoeuvrability. I think Mata's more on the right, and Rashford's sort of playing as the number 10 at the moment. But there might be some interchangeability, so keep your eye on that. Keep your eye on that. Any websites? Bob Sajak says show the game. Oh, I can tell you what, Bob. If I had £1 for every time somebody said this, that it's illegal for anybody to show you game footage on YouTube, and if it happens, they tend to get shut down quite quickly. We're the biggest independent Manchester United fan channel, so we're not about to do that. Brighton are expressing themselves at the start of this game. Sim Sabble says subscribe to the channel. Let's try and get to 150,000 subscribers. It would be significant to do that. Of course it would. We'd love to do it. But just keep sharing the video, getting people involved, and you never know, it might happen. It does look like Rashford is playing at 10. And I think that would put Mata onto the right. I mean, why can't Jose just keep him as they were last week? It worked. It worked well last week. Why are we changing it? I don't know. Anyway, bit of a free kick here for the old Brighton, and they are decent in the air. They are decent in the air. Brighton. But United have done well with getting rid of it. Trying to hit him on the break, not going to work. Lukaku is killing our attacks, says Sir Winston. We've passed 1,000 likes, so Manchester United will probably win it now. Marcus Berggren says Mata is playing as a number 10. He looks very much on the right wing to me, mate. I don't know what everybody else thinks. Kwame says Mata is at 10. Don't listen to anyone at the United stands. I think people are just interchanging. No, he's not. He's definitely not. He's definitely not playing it. He's playing out on the right, Mata. 100%. 100%. Mata is playing out on the right. There's a bit of interchangeability, but his default position is to get out on the right. That's the JZM. You're the third person now to say Mata's not playing on the right. I have got eyes, and I've had eyes for the last 5 minutes, and he is defaulting to the right a lot. There's a bit of interchangeability, but he is going out there. Anyway, United will be fine. United will be fine in this game. Can you fix the time? Says. Let's. It is a bit wrong, isn't it? Let's have a look. So, stop it. 11. 0-0 is the score for those who are joining a little bit late. Quite, you know what? A lot of space in this game. Brighton expressing themselves. I would say it's been a very similar start to the Newcastle game in the fact that Brighton don't seem to be intimidated. United are getting a lot of the ball. But Ashley Young, again, I think it was Ashley Young, really getting sent back to Villa by Goods there. I think Ashley Young at left back is a concern. Defensively, offensively, very, very good. Offensively, not so much. Oh, good. You can go. Have we got any mods on today? I've seen some. Well done, Matthew. Yeah, is he? Yeah, well done. Well done. Try not to block them unless they're really abusive, but he needed to go. Brighton are attacking, says Fresh King SG. Look, you know, those days of United terrifying teams at Old Trafford aren't quite back yet. And you know what? If you were Brighton and you saw us against Basel in midweek, would you park the bus? I think I'd try and be a little bit expansive. Brighton is certainly not getting loads of men behind the ball. They're trying to have a go at this, which is... It shows, doesn't it? It shows that they're not scared. They're not scared. So we need to exploit that confidence in the Brighton team and exploit the space. Nothing like playing the United way. Sheffield United way, says Cranium 1210. Look, what are we? We're not even 15 minutes in. 15 minutes in and people are getting negative already. I said this after the Newcastle game. There's no such thing as an easy game in the Premier League, and very few teams are 2 or 3-0 up after 15 minutes. You've got to grind teams down, you've got to work your way in. And at the moment, United are trying to do that. One goal will make a big difference. Snooze Fest, says Frederick. Brighton are just counter-attacking when we lose it. They're not on the front too much, says Patrick St. Pierre. Yep. And Man United are attacking, says Aryan. Jose plays the boring way, Andrew Ellis. As expected. And Lukaku is so bad, says Sir Winston. That's your second one. You'll get called a Lukaku hater. Losing my patience with Lukaku, says Alex Webb. Well, you know, there we go then. Patience, says Per Cruz. I agree. And bought the United top, you have Mark. And it's a tight Bobby Dazzler, says David Traynor. The black one or the 92 one? Smooths2641 says Manchester United are playing way too much through the middle. It's something we've spoken about a lot. I think Roy Keane said it, and he's right, and we've said it on here for a number of weeks, that, well, a number of months, is that when you're at Old Trafford, use the wings. Look, people can say wing play is dead. I think that's wrong. People can say Mourinho doesn't like wing play. Well, the trouble is, Manchester United as an institution has been around for decades, you know, well, more than decades, obviously. We've been around for over 100 years. But wing play is where people get excited, and it's ingrained in the Old Trafford faithful. It's ingrained in Manchester United fans. When we see wing play, it's like when Christmas comes along. You think back to great Christmas pasts if you've had them. And when we see wing play, it reminds us of Manchester United's great wing play of the past. It's an easy ticket to getting people on side, unless you're David Moyes and you have 150 crosses in one game and don't score. Andrea says we're playing a 4-4-2. Well, Brighton are on the attack at the moment. And Matt has intercepted it. Martial is incredible, says Velo01. I think we know why, because he just went on a really good run, got knocked over in the box. Candu thinks it's a penalty. It was a great run by Martial, to be fair. Should been a penalty, says T Push Punisher. Foul, says Ha Ha Banter. So Mourinho, sorry, not Mourinho. Imagine that. That would be Martial picking it up pretty much in his own half and running a little 1-2 with Mata. Goes down in the box. One of those ones a referee's never going to give. But it was a good run by Martial. Martial ran into him, says Peter Doyle. Come on, United, says Typical Savage. Patience is what we... Bottom line, would you take a 1-0 win today, a 1-0 win against Watford, a 1-0 win against Arsenal? I would. I'd much rather that than we won 6-0 today, 6-0 against Watford, and then lost at Arsenal. Ultimately, we need 9 points. 3 goals will be enough in the next 3 games to get us 9 points. 3 1-0 wins. Of course, I want to do better than that. But it's... there is a timer. There is a timer. Don't worry. There is a timer. Yeah, I want to do better than that, but I want us to get the goals. I want us to get the points. Sorry. Connor C, sit down and take the L. He says, "What's TUS?" United stand. Time after time, Brighton getting in down our left is a concern. And I know I said before the game, oh, there's no way Brighton won't score in this game. At the moment, they're exploiting that left-hand side. But you know what? I don't rate Ashley Young as a left back. Defensively, offensively, very, very good. Faisal, what's your Liverpool v Chelsea prediction? I think Liverpool will win that. Yeah, I think they're the sort of games that Liverpool and Klopp win. They love teams that come to Old Trafford. They love that teams that come to Anfield and will attack them. What Klopp doesn't like, because he hasn't got a plan B, is teams that sit back and don't let him hit them on the break. So I think Liverpool will win that. So expect a few giddy Scousers tonight. Opinion on Lindelof, says Will Gledhill. I think he'll get better and better. Watford are winning against Newcastle 1-0 away. I predicted Watford would win that. We're in for a tough game. We're in for a tough game on Tuesday night, but that would be redundant anyway if we didn't win this game. Remember to subscribe. How are we doing for subscribers, everybody? Challenge on... Ooh, 149,538 subscribers. Keep subscribing. Bottom right-hand corner for is the hologram for that. Look, just share the link. There's a share button under the stream. Share it on Facebook. Share it on Twitter. Get as many people watching. Let's see if we can hit 150,000 subscribers while we're live on air, because that would be superb. It's down to you as much as it is down to me. But if you are new, fantastic community you've found. I know we pick up a few new people when there's a match on. And yeah, it is a fantastic community, the United Stand. A worldwide family. And we are live every night at 8 o'clock. Apart from tonight, we'll have fan cams going up later on tonight. And hopefully we'll be celebrating results. But tomorrow night at 8 o'clock... we've got Flex and Ross on. Monday night is the Skype show where you lot call in. We've got the transfer show on Monday that goes up at 1 o'clock called Red Rumours. The Martial 1-2 with Mata was a foul, but it wasn't in the box, is what I'm being told. Definitely a foul. Referee should have given it, but he was on the edge of the box. But how many bad... Martial, for me, is one of the most unlucky players with referees. He never seems to get. He never, ever seems to get it. It was definitely a foul, says Haha Banter. But 20 minutes gone. United doing okay. Not scored the goal yet, obviously, that people want to see, but they're doing okay. If Mourinho left, would you take Marco Silva? Says Kato Ellis. He's very good. Let's see how he does on Tuesday night. I mean, hopefully we'll be saying, no, not quite yet. Mourinho schooled him, but they're a good side, Watford, and Everton want to spend a lot of money on him. Why don't they do it on Monday and then they won't have a manager on Tuesday? We don't need... Emma says we need Mkhitaryan. We don't need Mkhitaryan. We don't need Mkhitaryan at all. What we need is Pogba and Fellaini. Not Fellaini. What have I said? Why is that in my head? That's worrying. What we need is Pogba and Martial to turn up a little bit more. Martial's had a good run. Matta's moved into number 10 now, says Monkey2631. Hopefully that'll help. But in all fairness, it's not the one-way traffic I was sort of hoping it would be. Team Morg says your defence is terrified because Brighton are on fire. Brighton are a well-organised side. I don't think anybody should be disrespectful to them. But David Brown says Brighton will win it 1-0. There'd be massive. If United lost this, there'd be, you know, it's one thing losing to Huddersfield, which was bad, but it's another thing to lose at home to a team like Brighton. There would be trouble, but that won't happen. That won't happen. Tottenham are still losing 1-0. Martin O'Neill's going to Everton, says Kieran O'Byrne. That'd be interesting. I'm a big fan of Martin O'Neill. I secretly love Fellaini, says Faisal. I don't secretly love him at all. I don't secretly love him at all. Let's keep you up to date with football around the grounds. So Watford are beating Newcastle 1-0. Will Hughes again scoring. Marvin Ziegler put the cross in for Hughes if you've got him in your fantasy football team. And BBC said it was a penalty appeal for United. West Brom scoring is interesting. They scored Rondon very, very early on. But early days in all the games. Early days in all the games. We'll win this game. I'm totally confident. One for Watford a winning mark, which is why Chad that whizzed by. Sorry that. Never say never. Jared Pessimans made a contribution. $2. Thank you, Jared. He says it'd be awesome to hit 150,000 subscribers whilst we're live today. What's up from New York? It'd be awesome to hit 150,000 subscribers while we're live today if Manchester United win. If we lose, it'll be a bit like, where were you the day United got 150,000 subscribers and we lost to Brighton at home? We don't want that to happen. And I'm sure it won't. I'm sure it won't. Cross kick coming in from Martial there, and Lukaku got up for it, but not quite well enough. Brighton are well organised, says Luke Renty. Look, if you're a lower league, if you're a lower level club, and especially when you're playing teams like Manchester United and Manchester City, you've got to be well organised. And Brighton are. Chris Hughton's always been a decent manager. He did well. He got Newcastle up a few years ago. Always been a bit of a question mark about whether he is a Premier League manager, but he's doing well. And Brighton, you know, they don't have the resources, and he deserves the credit. It's not 0-0 for Watford, Pudrick, because Watford are winning 1-0. Bad header by Lukaku, says Ivan. Yeah, probably should have got a little bit more on it. Bring Fergie back. Andrew Ellis, come on. We'll never turn him onto the Mourinho side. Jack Brown says there's been way too many 3 o'clock kickoffs for United this season. We have had quite a few. We have had a few. And I don't know why that is. United are normally numero 1 when it comes to putting us on the telly. But we have had a few 3 o'clock kickoffs. Salah says never write off any team in the Premier League. The trouble is about United is as well, you always feel that United are capable of the horror result of losing a game at home, but you never feel that people like City are, do you? And that's the problem this season. You make your own luck. But a slow 25 minutes for Manchester United, I would say. We keep losing the ball, says Katie Graham. Hi Katie, well done. It's not so condescending. Well done Katie for coming out with a decent comment. Hello Katie, welcome to the channel and good comment. Brandon wants us to hit 2,000 likes, so I put a Fellaini wig on. No, I won't, because I don't know where the wig is at the moment. Dee says the ref's a clown. Shane Bradley says, I just want to see us give a team a battering. Well, we've battered a lot of teams this season, to be honest, Shane. A real battering, you know, the old 9-0s and that, they're very rare. Sean McDermott, United keep losing the ball. Andrew Hoare, Mickey played well with Pogba. Pogba comes back and he drops him. I'm sure if it continues like this, we'll see Mkhitaryan anyway. So those who want to see Mkhitaryan, you're going to see him. So don't worry about it too much. Brighton really are looking for those sort of free kicks on the edge of the box and around the box, because actually that's where they're a threat. Remember, subscribe if you're new. We're outside chance of 150,000 subscribers while we're live today, which would be significant for the channel. So get involved if you're new. Subscribe, bottom right hand corner hologram. But make sure you don't just watch watch-alongs. We've got content going up on the channel every day. We're live 8 o'clock every evening, Sunday to Friday. Get involved, join the community, and join the fun. At that point, it would have been ridiculous if Brighton had scored. Join the fun. Brighton have scored. Good little counter-attack here from United, but not enough support. You know, we're blasting away on the pace there, but there's not enough support. Not enough pace in the team. Never score goals on the break, says David Blaine. Good point. Saberni Gaming has subscribed and liked. Welcome to the channel, pal. We can't win the league if you don't score goals on the break, says David Blaine. Jonathan Gorbett has made a contribution. Thank you, Jonathan. He says, Lindelof is one of the best ball-playing centre-backs I've seen. Not defensively there yet, but his ball-playing is top level. Just not just based on this game. Great comment from Jonathan. There are good aspects to Lindelof, and I've stood by Lindelof even when he was giving away penalties on the US tour. The Huddersfield game was obviously very disappointing. I think everyone had a right to be disappointed by him, but I've not written Lindelof yet off. A lot of fans are saying Lindelof, you might be proved right, but I liked. He wasn't in my top 5 a year ago when we were talking about centre-backs for United, but Lindelof was in my top 5, but he was, I think, 4th or 5th when we did a video a year ago. I know what sort of player Lindelof is. He can be a success at Manchester United. I'm not going to lie to you and say he will be a success because nobody's got the right to say that. But I think he will be, and I think we might have a Vidic situation who started off very badly at United, but then when he got to grips with it, he was good. And let's not forget, Mourinho said himself, I think it was in August, he said, look, I managed Carvalho at Chelsea, and his first 6 months, he was terrible. Then he got used to it, and he became one of the best Premier League centre-backs there's been. He will be fine, Lindelof. So let's see if Mourinho's right about that. I do think it's early days. Of course he's cost us 3 points. Of course he has. There can be no debating that. But today's the perfect game for him to play. Will he play well? Will he get a 5 out of 10? We'll see. We'll see. Anyway. 28 minutes gone. Patience is the key here. If we don't concede, we'll win this game. It's not one of those. I don't see it. I can't see it being one of them games where we blow it. Famous last words, maybe, but I don't think we're going to be doing that. Mourinho needs to give Shaw a chance as AB. Beck's on. Shout out to the moderators. They do a great job. The leaders of the community. Ref's a little bit frustrating, I think. Fair to say. I mean, where I get a little bit confused is that... Not confused. Sir Winston's just said it, ref's shocking. Where I get a bit concerned is that a month till Christmas marks, as Nathan Harper. It is a month today. A month today. Again, that's another 3 o'clock kickoff. Burnley, Boxing Day, 3 o'clock. We will be doing a watch-along. I know you'll be... You know, by then you might want to just get away and watch some United stand and United, but family day. Haha Banter says that the ref is on something. Jared Pesserman says Marcus as mod squad. Yeah, I think the moderators are happy to be called that. Shout out to the best mod, Marcus. I think he's on here today. Still recovering. He'll be back. He'll be back. Working hard to be back for the Arsenal watch along next week. He's had a problem with his ear, so it's not like a knee and he's getting out there running. He's just putting his ear up to the telly and trying to train it up. Oh, I'm joking. Poor joke. When he's back, we can all say, are you happy to be ear? But we'll play it by ear and see what happens. Oh, just stop. Few goals in the 3 o'clock kickoffs today, says somebody. Let's have a look what they are, because I've not been looking at that. There's no goals here, that's for sure. No, he says few goals. Yeah, there's only been 2. It's 0-0, the score at the moment. Marcus is lurking in the shadows. So 31 minutes gone. It's a shame. It's a shame because this is the lineup we want to see. This is the lineup we want to see for United, and there can't be any excuses. It's got to be better, hasn't it? Yes, the United Stand chair does have the logo for the United Stand on it. I can do a bit of magic for you. Look, just about see it there. There is the chair. There is me. United have got a corner. We don't score from corners anyway. I suspect there'll be a bollocking incoming from Mourinho anyway, because it's so frustrating when a team the fans want to see is not performing. And I do, you know, somebody just said there, oh, you're never critical of Mata. I really do like Mata, but I'm not going to hide behind the fact if he's not having a good game. But I don't like. I think from too early on there was too much switching around between the number 10 and the number 11. Not the number 10, you know, the number 10 position and Rashford. Too much switching around. Statically keep him at number 10 and let's go for it. But even beyond, no matter what you think of Mata, and I do like Mata, beyond all that, we need better than that. We need a number 10 who is, you know, Dybala standard, Griezmann standard, and everybody knows that. Look at what De Bruyne is doing for Manchester City. You know that we need that sort of a player. How much do I hate Manchester City on a scale of 1 to 10? I don't really. If I'm totally honest with you, Liverpool are the one for me. I don't like Man City, and I don't like Pep because I think he's a silver spoon manager, as I spoke about last night, and it annoys me how much credit he gets for actually just being handed the keys to the kingdom everywhere he's been with a blank checkbook. Obviously, his teams play good football. But he does annoy me. But on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do I hate Man City? 7. How much do I hate Liverpool? 10. I can't stand Liverpool. Kieran Ryan, good point. Totally forgotten about that today. It is 0-0. Overkill by Mata there. Decent cross by Valencia and Lukaku heading wide, but it wasn't a great chance. Well, having said that, as Jared Feta says, Lukaku can't buy a goal at the moment. Well, Brighton are just going to grow in confidence, aren't they? And the trouble is, the crowd start to grow in frustration. And all I would say is a big red flag to you all now. Fellaini is probably going to be plan B. And that, to me, maybe that would be a solution in a game like this, and if we get the 3 points, it works. But I think this team that started needs to do a little bit better, to be honest. But Brighton seem to be far more energetic than Manchester United. Oh, this ref's shocking, isn't he? He really is. Another rubbish ref rolls into Old Trafford with instructions from the FA what to do. Does my head in. Lindelof's looking better and better. I think that's what will happen, and confidence is great. Pogba and Matic not really imposing themselves on this game as well as you'd want to. PS4 gamer, do you remember when Arsenal had a good season? I don't. Ref's a joke, says Brendan Traherne 2. See you later, ungrateful bros. Ashley Young, player of the half, says Femelo. Going forward, yes. Defensively, I think that's where Brighton have had a lot of credit. I tell you what though, you cannot. Somebody just said there we're going to get stuffed by Watford. You know, on form, yeah, maybe, but I think Manchester United would hopefully raise their game a little bit better than they have done here. But Brighton are making us work hard, and yeah, it is an interesting game so far, but not good enough for Manchester United. Half time. Would you be looking to change things at half time? Katie Graham says Ibra is warming up. If he takes Martial off for Ibra, I'm going to cry. Absolutely going to cry. Because he's had arguably the run of the half. Brighton going close, says Samuel R. We need to be honest, Matic has been poor for over a month now, says Velo01. That was always a possibility, quite simply because he had to play so much football. Spenny D's made a contribution, thanks Spenny. He says, how much do we need an Iron Robin type winger? Someone that can cross as well as cut in. Young is doing his best, but... Smalling, I think, has had a good game as well. He'll take Mata off, says Phoenix Love. To be honest, Mata off as Zlatan is not a bad idea. I just get scared. About that. Fellaini's warming up as well, says Christopher White. We need more creative players, says Michael Enright. Matthew and George are just going at each other. I hope it's like Beck says there, play nicely you two. I hope it is just banter. But it'd be very hard for me to pick sides between Matthew and George. Hursty says Brighton are actually awful and we're making them look good. David Blaine never wanted Lukaku and still doesn't. Mad Marcus says ho ho Merry Christmas. Banter Claus is in the house. And Fellaini and Mkhitaryan in. Oh god, that makes me want to cry. It really does, those sort of words. I think he'll change it at half time. I don't think this is going to please many people, if I'm honest. Let's have a look what's going on in the phone. Ashley Young is the only one keeping us alive offensively, says Fabrizio Mario. We've got about 3 minutes till half time. Somebody's asking there. Lukaku's just another Giroud. Not my words. Johnny Ring, Young's been our only hope. We're just not using Martial and Pogba, our flair players, to their potential. Good point. George Kyle makes a good point. United need a goal before half time, otherwise Brighton are going to park the bus in the second half. Or, George, they might go another way and think, you know what? United are going to become more desperate. We can hit them on the break and win this. Famous win for Brighton. It could go that way. Well, Ross was saying, I said 3-0 at half time. I didn't say it at half time. I said 3-0 to United. Ross said 4-0. A lot of us were on about, well, we've got the nil bit right, but a few players I feel just haven't turned up today, whether it's Mata, Pogba, Matic, Rashford, Lukaku. Martial probably not getting enough of the ball, so you've got to say he's not turned up that much as well. That should be a goal, says Samuel R. Ibra, says Dorian. Pogba's gone down. Pogba is hurt, says Jared Pesserman. Is Pogba down, says Tyan. I don't know, Tyan, we're waiting to hear. Nice cross from Rashford, though. I think Pogba's okay. United just about scored there. As Eric says, how is he not scored? And now Pogba is down, injured. And whose header is it? Is it? I think it's Lukaku's header, isn't it? Well, I think Lukaku's header, and Pogba is up. Pogba's fine. So we had a couple of chances there. Lukaku, decent cross again from Rashford, to be fair. Pogba gets up and then the keeper saves it, but Pogba sort of has a go at it, and yeah. If he'd scored, he would have been dancing, says Marcus. He's absolutely fine. Lukaku getting a lot of stick. Even Tyrone is giving him a bit of stick. Oh dear. Watford are 2-0 up now at Newcastle. That was on my fan league predictor, actually, that they would win that. So quite pleased with that. 1 minute left. Lee Darcy says, how's my favourite girl Beck? Who scored for Watford, says Lord Fellaini. Is Ibra too old now, says Dorian? Well, we're about to find out. Half time for Manchester United. And this team lacks creativity, says Joshua Fagg. Need to bring Mickey on for Mata, give him some confidence again. You could lose confidence, though, in a game like this. I think there is aspects to the game that are difficult. But I think the thing that's really frustrating for me in a game like this is, and do start flying in with your thoughts, because I know some people can't watch the game because it's a 3 o'clock game in the UK, so they won't be aware of what's gone on in that half. But the disappointing thing for me is that Manchester United are at home. That's pretty much the team we want to see playing. It's the team that did so well last week, but really just haven't created enough. And I think it's really easy to start saying Lukaku's rubbish, Rashford's rubbish, Martial's lazy, Mata's crap. I think it's too reactionary. I think the reality is that there's something fundamentally wrong with that team, that Brighton actually were expressing themselves on the break. United are the team on the front foot, which is totally right because we're at Old Trafford, we're the home team and we need to win it. But we're not expressing ourselves. David Blaine said it during the first half of the watch-along, that we never look like we're going to score on the break. Because although we've got quick players, they're not thinking quick on the break. Lukaku, couple of half chances, maybe a couple of chances he should have scored. Can't buy a goal at the moment. Looks really, really out of sorts. But my concern is what Mourinho is going to do in the second half, because that team is the team we want to see. We won't see it in the second half, probably fairly, because it's not being good enough. But when we spoke about the subs before, McTominay, Herrera and Fellaini are basically the same player. That's 3 options that are basically the same. They're not going to give us anything creatively unless you're going to chuck Fellaini up and start hitting the long ball. Do we want to see that yet? I don't really want to see that till at least the 70th minute for the last 20 minutes. So Fellaini at half-time, for who? No. Zlatan, look, if Zlatan's coming on, he's got to be coming on for Mata and he's got to play as a number 10. If it's Zlatan for Martial and Lukaku goes on the wing, I'm going to bloody cry, because we might get the result. We might get the result. But do we want to see Lukaku on the wing and Zlatan at number 9? Pogba's not been good enough today. You know, Pogba's a fantastic player. He's not been good enough today. Ashley Young's probably been our best player going forward. But having said that, for the 3rd time in a row now, defensively, teams are exploiting our left-hand side because Ashley Young is weak defensively. But offensively, he's our best outlet. What would I change at half-time? What would you change at half-time? I think, to be honest with you, I would probably try and stick with what we're doing. Just at least for 10 minutes. Give them the old-fashioned bollocking and 10 minutes. Because, to be honest with you, I'd rather that team starting was successful than Lukaku on the wing and Zlatan up front, or Fellaini on a long ball. I'd rather see United successful with that starting team. So I would try 10 minutes of a kick up the backside, see what happens. You could bring Mkhitaryan on for Mata. That's a big risk, because Mata maybe not been great today, but Mkhitaryan's not been great in that role. So if he comes on and does what he's been doing for the last few weeks, that's a wasted substitution. So I think Mourinho's got to give a bollocking to that side 100%, and I think he's got to give them 10 minutes. Will he do it? I don't know. I think he will make changes. Chris X04 says Mata for Mkhitaryan. Continuity needed, says Andrew Thompson. We need to stick with these players. Look, we are a FIFA generation. We are a reactionary generation. Bad 45 minutes. You know, we're still second in the league. We were very good last week. We could be brilliant away at Watford on Tuesday. You never know what's going to happen. So yeah, I would call for calm and give him 10 to 15 more minutes and see what happens. But I don't think he'll do that, because to be honest, does Mourinho really like that team? Has it been forced upon him? We'll find out at half time, because Mourinho, even when we've had bad halves in the past, he doesn't normally change it at half time. So if he changes it at half time, it's a big indicator that actually he doesn't really like this team that we've got. He wants to do it his own way. And we might see Fellaini and Zlatan double substitution. And we might grind out a run. Ultimately, we've got to win this game. But I don't feel we need to make the changes straight away, because I still think that lineup is good. It probably just needs a kick up the backside, because something's not working. Matic and Pogba, for me, the best midfield pairing in the league. Not today. Mata at number 10 in a game like this should be one of the best in the league. Not today. Martial and Rashford, for me, 2 of the best young, quick, skillful players in the league. Not today. And Lukaku, proven one of the best strikers in the league, not been for the last 3 weeks. So something somewhere is wrong. The back four is a different entity. The back four has kept a clean sheet. The back four offensively in relation to Valencia and Young, okay, they're a bonus, but you can't be critical of De Gea or the back four. The issue with United at the moment is we're not creating the chances, and that is a concern, and we need to address that concern. Just a very, very quick shout out. We are closing in on 150,000 subscribers. Some people think we can do it today. If you've not subscribed to United Stand, the bottom right hand corner is the hologram. Please click it, subscribe, get involved with the channel. It's a fantastic community. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, Sunday night show. 8 o'clock on Monday is the Skype show where you call in. Lots of interaction. The live comments is always part of the chat, and your opinion is always what it's all about. So get part of the community, subscribe, and you never know, history could be made on the United Stand. We could hit 150,000 subscribers today whilst we're live. But I don't want to do that if we're going to not beat Brighton. We've got to beat Brighton. And I've got to stop the clock as well. Very good point. But I've got into my moment. When we're talking about where it went wrong in the first half, though, can I just say this? Last week, Mata was pretty much a static number 10. This week, in those first few minutes, there was a lot of arguments on our live comments about where Mata was playing, because he spent a lot of time out on the right wing and Rashford was in behind him. And this frustrates me a little bit with Mourinho. Why are we fixing something that's not broken? Last week, Mata was pretty much number 10, Martial on the left, Rashford on the right, and Zlatan and Lukaku up front. This week, for the first 15 minutes, Mata was spending a lot of time on the right. And that, although for the last 20 minutes he came inside again, just do that. Why are we interchanging in the first 15 minutes? Get some stability in the game before you start doing that. So that was a little bit frustrating. Just give everybody their position and get on with it. Lukaku is not getting good service, says David Dodson. I don't know. I mean, Lukaku had a good couple of chances in midweek, didn't score. He's had a good couple of chances today. He's not scored. He needs to do a little bit better. But look, Carl Watkins is listening and painting the kitchen. I've got loads of painting to do, Carl. Come around and do mine. He needs, you know, I think with most arguments there's two sides, and with most arguments there's middle ground. Those who are 100% Lukaku's brilliant, you're wrong. Those who are saying Lukaku's a flop, you're wrong. The middle ground is Lukaku can be brilliant, and at the moment he's going through a bit of a bad spell. Patience is key. Patience is key in this game. Patience is key in the bigger picture. I hope Mourinho shows some patience at half-time and doesn't do reactionary subs that in the short term might win us the game. You know, Fellaini and Zlatan might come on and win us the game. But in the long term, is that going to help us catch City? I don't believe Fellaini in the starting lineup and Zlatan playing as number 9 will help us to catch City. I think we'll end up in a battle for the top 4 in the long term. And that's my concern. I think this half-time action from Mourinho is going to be quite symbolic about the rest of our season. Will he stick with the team that we like, that is not playing good enough, and give him a kick up the backside? Or will he resort to what he normally does, get Fellaini and Zlatan on the pitch, hit a load of long balls and, you know, pot luck, let's see if it works? In the long term, I think that would cause us more problems than good, because the good thing about this team is it's got a lot of pace, it's got a lot of quick movement of the ball. We're just not, as many people were saying in the first half, we're just not moving the ball around quick enough. In the context of the game, Pro Gaming is saying we need to score soon. I agree, and Cooker says Brighton had more chances, which they probably did. In the context of the game, I think we need to be really, really careful, because we're scared. We need to be very careful, because let's not confuse ourselves. Brighton did express themselves on the counter without really creating a good chance. They could create chances. United are not going to be able to carry on like they were in the first half. They're going to have to throw caution to the wind and try and win this, which, with the way Brighton were playing in the first half, with a bit more space, they might carve us open and get a chance. And if they take that, we're in trouble. So how Brighton approach the second half, I think they'll probably do the same. They're comfortable at the back. They're able to get the ball up into our half quite quickly. They'll be thinking, hang in there and we can win this. Some people were thinking, well, maybe Brighton will park the bus. I think that's the worst thing Brighton can do. Because if they park the bus and sit back, then Fellaini and Zlatan are a good option. Let's pump a few balls in there. If Brighton play the way they are at the moment, which is, you know, not playing a deep line, then how do you get Fellaini and Lukaku into their box? Because they'll just play a high line. So we've got to be careful about it. Brighton are not playing a deep line at the moment. And people who lack pace, like Zlatan and Fellaini, Yes, they're a threat in the opposition's box, but you've got to get to the box first. Richard Stainer makes a contribution. Thanks for that, Richard. Lukaku is a good striker and could become an excellent striker, but he will never be world class. Richard, a brave statement? No, not really. I think you're right. I think we're right. Ricky Singh, calm down. We'll get the job done. 200 subscribers and we'll hit 150,000 subscribers. Keep subscribing, get involved. I don't think Lukaku is going to be a world-class striker. I think you can tell who's going to be world-class probably by the age of about 20, maybe even a little bit younger. Technically, Lukaku isn't world-class. You watch when he runs up to take a penalty, it's not smooth. Look at the way Martial runs up to the ball, he's smooth. Lukaku's not smooth, but he's got a lot of good attributes, and I think he can be top-class. But world-class... Did we ever expect that? I don't know. But I'm not against him. I'm not against him. And I think he's a useful option. And I like what he brings to the team. But I don't think we'll be judging Lukaku until at least next summer anyway. You've got to give him the season. You've got to give him the season. Wait all week to watch this rubbish, says Luis Fernandez. Where were you on Wednesday? That was quite rubbish as well. Time for Marwan, says Mad Marcus. And if Brighton score first, we're in trouble, says CCC Lethal. All in for Dybala, says Timo. Look, I was down the pub last night, as I normally am on a Friday night, and I said to my mate, who was a United fan, I said this, don't know why I'm talking like this, I said that what United need to do is pick up as many wins, scrape as many wins, even if they're scraping wins, get as many wins as we can between now and January, and then, and only then, let's see how close we are to City, but more importantly, let's see how much this board backs this club. Because if we can scrape it to January and be in a title race, which is a big ask, and he doesn't get backed, we'll know 100% that this club is all about the money and not about success. But I feel if we get to January, we could see 2 signings coming in, and we do need them. We do need them. Andy K, 6th is imminent. Come on, United. Martial to score, says TMS. It's Latan time, says Catherine Hill. Would you take Coutinho, says Faisal Hussein. No, because he plays for Liverpool. Yes, because I think I take anybody who can play in behind the striker and ahead of the midfield at the moment. We desperately, desperately miss a number 10. We really do. VK Dean says we bought an inferior striker. We could do with a better one. Red Hot Football News says, isn't this team lineup Mark you wanted, but why our team is lacking to score goals? I think it's a good point. Luis Fernandez, nobody dares take their man on one-on-one. Good point. This is pretty much the team that most Manchester United fans wanted. I mean, my reaction, if you saw it about an hour and a half ago, was very, very excited. Well, 2 hours ago now, was very, very excited. It is the team that I wanted for Manchester United, but if they don't turn up, they don't turn up, do they? And I think that is the problem. They haven't turned up for whatever reason today. And I hope that they do. I'm still talking to you. I've just got a little job to do, and I'll be back. It's literally 5 seconds away, and I'll tell you what it is. I'm back now. The job was as exciting as, please can you turn the hot water on. Right. Second half is loading. United need to win this game. And you never know, in 45 minutes time, we might all be saying what we were worried about. We completed it, beating Brighton. And you know what? I'm more. If we all want to, if we scrape this 1-0, we can moan tomorrow night on the Sunday night show. We can moan on the fan cams later. Remember, we will have fan cams going up later on, and we can moan in the match reaction. But let's get the result done first, and then we can focus on what happens. Players are rubbish, says Afaf. Well, you know, we can't be hypocrites, can we? We said this on Wednesday night. We've said it after Huddersfield results. This squad isn't good enough. And if you are making that statement that the squad's not good enough, then you're a hypocrite if when things like today happen, you go, if you don't stand by that the squad's not good enough. Of course it's not good enough, and because it's not good enough, then we will have games where we are effectively struggling, and today is one of those games. But hopefully some of the better players, as I see Paul Pogba run on the pitch, hopefully some of them better players can produce the goods for us. I don't think we've made any substitutions yet. Would I take Mo Salah again because he plays for Liverpool? No, but again, yes, because we do need a winger. We do need a winger. We do. We're closing in on 150,000 subscribers. It's close. We're 170 short. So keep sharing the video. If you're new, subscribe to the channel, and you might be part of quite a historic moment for the channel, which obviously yet again would be all down to you lot. So keep sharing, subscribing, and if you are a new subscriber, make sure you watch the daily content. We're normally live at 8 o'clock every night, and it's a fantastic community. Guy Tung Kwok has just subscribed to the channel. Welcome. Gents Tech says, Mark, you took Brighton for granted. Mate, I've never, as far as I'm aware, I'm not the manager of Manchester United, and I'm certainly not playing on that pitch while I'm talking to you. I've not taken them for granted at all. The management of Manchester United and the players not turning up may have taken them for granted, but this team should be beating Brighton. As fans, we've got every right to build up this game and say we should win this game. If the fans don't let us, if the fans let us down, if the players are letting us down, then maybe they're taking them for granted. Let's see what we can do in this second half anyway. Oh, Smalling, yeah. Sent Smalling to kindergarten there, the Brighton player. I'm glad he's kept the same team anyway. Because it might play the same way for 15 minutes, but I think he's got to give it that sort of kick up the arse and see if it responds. And I'm glad that Mourinho hasn't reacted by just taking somebody off at half time. But Brighton are well stacked. Again, Brighton are just all over Manchester United at the moment. And their game plan is certainly the best. Hang in there, folks. Hang in there. Fasten your seatbelts. It's always interesting being Manchester United anyway. We should get Rondon, says Brandon Hennessy. Rondon's done well, but I don't think Rondon's anything better than Lukaku, to be honest. If we lose, I want a proper rant, says David Brathian. Look, you would probably never see me do a rant more ranty than the one where I lost faith in Van Gaal. You've got to remember, as you know, it's a bit like your political persuasion, isn't it? I'm a Mourinho fan, and I don't think that will change. I have been critical about some of his decisions, but ultimately I am a Mourinho fan, and I'll have to fall on that sword if he gets it wrong. And I've always said I'll never be Mourinho out. So never say never, but if we lose this or don't win, I'll be looking at why. And I think, again, a lot this season when it's not worked out, a lot of the whys have got to be the players. Because at the end of the day, my reaction to that team news today was, yes, come on, that's the team we want to see. So how can I be critical of Mourinho? Of course you could be critical if it's the team you want to see, but then the tactics are wrong. But I look at what's gone on in that first half and, you know, the early parts of the second half, and it's not really about people tactics. It's about poor decision making, poor first touch, and that again is that down to the manager? I don't know. Look, we've got a long way before we're talking about losing to Brighton, and hopefully it won't be a reality. But we're not stupid as fans, and I think whatever happens today, and we've got to win today. There'll be bigger picture thinking about, you know, if we scrape this in the last minute, what, you know, and get 3 points, I'll be ecstatic like everybody else. But you know, that ecstatic happiness is not going to last too long before the mind immediately is drawn to Watford and Arsenal to come. Closer Fierce 2 says we need Zlatan on. Look, I'm not going to knock the fact that you might want Zlatan to come on, but I prefer to look at the bigger picture and, like, Zlatan, whatever you think, is not going to be here in a year's time. And whatever you think about Zlatan, he's slow. And are we going to try and build and resurrect the rest of our season on a slow player who's coming towards the end of his career? If we want a future, then the players on this pitch are the ones we should want to turn it around. And I'm a big Zlatan fan, but I don't think Zlatan should be the first option, if you know what I mean. Obviously, he's a substitute option, but starting to push in. We're starting to push on now, as Twix Space Raider says. Better from United, and you know, maybe they've had that sort of kick up the backside, and hopefully we can respond a little bit better to it. I do know a place called Drogheda. My best man lives there. Best man means, well, everyone knows what a best man is, isn't it? Don't they? Cold B subscribed. Make sure you are back watching other shows, mate. If you have subscribed today, loads of content on the United Stand, daily content, and we've got match reaction straight after this show. That'll be interesting if we don't win it. And also we'll have fan cams tonight, and then 8 o'clock tomorrow night is Sunday Night Live. 8 o'clock Monday night is the Skype show, and then 8 o'clock every night. 8 o'clock, well, Tuesday night we'll be live from 6:45 with a watch along for the Watford game. So lots going on, everyone, lots going on. Players are getting angry, says Christopher White. Shpee Mello says Zlatan coming on will guarantee we don't score. It must be, I tell you what, the life of a manager must be really hard. You know, you look at Mourinho and you think, it must, you know, especially at Manchester United, where you know the press are against you, and maybe there's a little bit of murmuring in the crowd that they don't like your style of play. And in a game like this, as I was saying in the preview last night, or the other night, a game like this for United, you can only lose because you are expected to win 3-0. So if you win 3-0 or 4-0, it'll be like, well, yeah, we should do. Anything less than that, you're going to get in a lot of stick, aren't you? Going to get a lot of bother. I'm Breach69. I totally agree with you. I think the referee has been shocking. Mad Marcus says, where the hell is Marouane? Hopefully locked up in the basement where I left him so he can't get on. No, he's on the bench. I'm sure we'll see him soon. Don't worry. You can. You'll have a stiffy on soon. I think it's been a better second half from United anyway. Just need to get that goal in. Ashley Young with a speculative shot there. Good start to the second half, says Mike Rollins. Very close to 150,000 subscribers. Will we do it? I'm not 100% sure. We've got what? 40 minutes to do it. Eric Torger says Brighton are milking the clock. Well, wouldn't you, mate? Wouldn't you? If Brighton get a result here today, they're going to be absolutely ecstatic, aren't they? So Stoke 1, Palace 0. I'd gone for. I'd not gone for that, to be honest. I'd gone for. I'd gone for Palace to get the result there. Fosu Mensah on the bench again for Palace, by the way. Just wasting his time there. Really is wasting his time. What West Brom still beating Spurs. Spurs November is a bit like Arsenal's of years gone by. It's they're absolutely imploding. Subs, come on now, says David Witten. Yeah, I suppose we're starting to move towards that time, David, to be honest. Sort of 65, 70 minutes mark would be it. What a tackle that was by Lindelof. One of the positives from this game, I suppose. I just hope people haven't made their mind up about him, because all I can ever say is that, you know, Vidic was terrible when he first came to United, and I think that's the one thing I've always thought about Lindelof, is you've got to give him time and see if he can turn it around. And even Mourinho himself has said that it could take him a season, so you've got to give him that time. And it was a fantastic tackle, and if he timed it wrong, they were through. Even though it was a halfway line tackle, they were through. So Palace have levelled. Well, there's a Brighton player injured at the moment. I'm just going to quickly pop to the toilet, talk amongst yourselves, get generating those subs, get sharing it, and let's see if we can hit 150,000. But hopefully I'll have a lucky wee. Back! Don't tell me. Well, I've been to the toilet. Manchester United have scored 3-0, and it's now 3-0 to Manchester United. Here we go. We've scored. People are saying goal. I think they're winding me up. Let's have a look. It's all a prank. They're pranking me. You bunch of gets. We haven't scored. They're all trying to prank me, and I'm back watching it now. So your little prank hasn't worked. Anyway, we're approaching 60 minutes, so it's still 0-0. The magic wee didn't work. And what do I make of Watford this season? Ali Price, very impressed, very, very impressed. And I actually think, in some ways, Watford on Tuesday night could be harder than Arsenal on Saturday. They're both tough games for us, especially based on this performance, but Zlatan's coming on. See who he comes on for, because you know what, Martial's not been great, but I think that's one. It's got to be for Mata for me. In this sort of a game, it's not a quick game. If they're going to park the bus, though, actually getting a bit of height on's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. So Winston, if he takes Martial off, I'm done. I agree. I mean, Martial's not played particularly well on this game, but who else has? And the one thing about someone like Martial is he's a flair player. That one little bit could be all it needs. Got to be bloody careful though. We didn't get 1,000 likes before the game, says Jazzy now. That's why. Yeah, well, you know, it's not over yet, but that's a lesson to you in future. Oh, Mata losing a 50-50. What if we draw this game? If we draw this game, Purple Fangs, forget it. Forget the league. Some people might say forget it now. Mata's coming off for Ibra. Probably the right thing to do. Probably the right thing to do. It's not been Mata's day today. The number 10 position, you know, I'm not going to disagree with people. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of Mata, but if he doesn't play well, I'm not going to sit back and lie. It's not. There's no point in it. The United's problem, whether it was Mkhitaryan for a month or whether it's Mata today or whether it's Lingard when he's played there, it's abundantly clear that Manchester United's problem is the number 10 position. We just don't do it. We're not creating things. We're not linking things. And that is a problem. Hopefully, Zlatan can come on and solve that problem. Mata for Lukaku. Good move. Good move. So I'll back that. You know, he's had opportunity. He's had an opportunity today. If he doesn't react to it, then Watford are 3-0 up. They're definitely prepping themselves for us, aren't they? Fellaini on for Lukaku. I do think we'll see Fellaini. What I would say is that I'll guarantee you that ideally Mourinho would have been wanting to take Pogba off in about 10 minutes and give him a bit of a rest. Irfan Khan, what do I think the score's going to be? What do we all think the score's going to be? You've got to feel that Manchester United, with about half an hour left at Old Trafford and a game they've got to win, they're surely going to produce the goal. They've just got to be a little bit careful on the break. Matthew says, this is a result of big boy Ross Harrington not drinking his pre-match Guinness. I blame this sub-performance on Ross. Yeah. You've got to blame somebody. That's what I think. Pogba should not play 90 minutes, says Lunk. But the problem is, you take Pogba off. Look what happened when we were 0-0 and we took Pogba off on Wednesday night. We lost. So the boost it will give to Brighton if we take Pogba off, we cannot do it. What would City do to this Brighton team? They'd blast them out of the park. You know, I'm not going to lie. You know, we can all... I don't like City. I don't like Pep. I don't like his silver spoon, open checkbook management. But we're all starting to have to come down to the fact, no matter what we think of that, we can't argue that United are just poor at the moment. I don't even know what the linesman was given there. Does anybody know what the linesman gave there? Certainly couldn't have been offside. City played them in Brighton though, didn't they? They didn't play them at the Etihad, so I think there it could be, unless I've got that wrong. Brighton are a well-organised team, though. You know, I wouldn't say we've disrespected them. United should be beating Brighton at home. As Matt James says, if you can't beat Brighton at home, what hope have we? I mean, are Brighton going to be a top 4 side this season? No, they're not. So, you know, we beat Spurs at home. We had to beat Spurs at home. We've got to beat City at home. So if you're saying you've got to beat top of the league at home, Brighton at home, you've got to win it. There's no hiding behind the fact that it's a good point at home to Brighton. It's not. Of course it's not. Johnny Ring says we're just not good enough to break Brighton down. United got a corner, so unlikely to do anything from a corner. Rashford takes it. Young. Oh, hey, it's gone in. Manchester United have scored from a corner. Ashley Young, boom, boom. That's all we need. Jammy, to say the least, but it is a goal. I thought somebody said no goal then. Cross comes in, cleared. Young on the edge of the box, hits it, hits dunk, and dunks off into the corner. It's not a clean hit, but it goes in. So headed clear, Young's on the edge of the box, gets it onto his left foot, hits it, loops up over the keeper, into the goal. Manchester United are 1-0 ahead. Doesn't matter how it goes in. Come on. Come on. Lucky goal. But they all count. And you know what might happen now is Brighton are going to have to come and attack us. We might actually go on and win this. Well, we're already winning it. But you know what I mean? We might actually go and do 2 or 3-0. End the game, says John. I agree, John. I do agree. But let me change the score for you all. Well, you know what? We can push on and we can get a second goal. And, you know, sometimes that really is the way that it works. That we can maybe get the second goal and kill it off. But it changed the whole complexion of a game. The confidence and everything that that they were building, Brighton, will now go out the window. But probably the player who deserves the goal more than anybody else is Ashley Young, because of his performance today. It's been really, really good. Offensively, when we've needed it. Well, Manchester United are 1-0 up, and that's all that matters, isn't it? We've still got 20, I'd say 25 minutes left. Was it a corner? No. Wasn't even a corner to United, but they've scored from it, and little bit of luck. You know what? I don't think we've mentioned referees much this season, and I don't think we've mentioned luck this season. But if people like rivals or bitter people want to say wasn't even a corner, United are lucky, I'll come back with them. The referee's been abysmal today, so you can't have it both ways. You can't say United are lucky, but then say the referee's been, you know, we can say the referee's been shocking, and he has. So swings and roundabouts. Maybe it wasn't a corner, but who gives a damn? The referee's been rubbish. So there we go. Lukaku's missed a good chance again, says Dave B. Young and Lindelof best so far. Lindelof's been very good, Wazza, I agree. Wazza FC, very, very good. Let's get this second goal though. I mean, Brighton have played well, and it came off the defender. Yeah, it wasn't a clean hit by Young. It clipped off the Brighton defender and looped over the goalkeeper, but They all count. They all count. Who cares? Who cares, says Catherine Hill. We're 1-0 up. Come on. That's what we want. That's what we wanted. And if we can get over the line with this today, fantastic. How close to 150,000 subscribers are we, Mark? We're 95 short. So if you've not subscribed, bottom right-hand corner is the hologram to click. Join the Manchester United Stand community and get involved. Remember, we're live every single day, 8 o'clock most times. Not tonight because we've got fan cams going up, but tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And Monday night is the Skype show where you can Skype in. Of course, we're playing Watford on Tuesday, so we'll be live for that. We've got previews, reviews, transfer shows. It's all going on. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell so you get all your notifications and get involved with the community. Live comments up on all videos, interaction on all videos. So get involved with that. Yeah, I think we definitely do need Mkhitaryan's coming on for Martial. Not been his game today. It's a risk, that is. Mkhitaryan and for Martial, you know, right decision for me, says Breach. The only thing that I would have a problem with that is, well, two reasons I've got a problem with that. One, Mkhitaryan's been dreadful. And two, Martial against the team that's going to attack us with his pace, why would you not do that? Why would you take that away? You know, Martial tends to do well in the last 20 minutes of games, but let's see. That substitution could be inspired, or it could be the one we look back on and go, what was that all about? I'm with you, Deck Purcell. He's got to prove himself today. But Brighton, looking bright on the break. And well cleared there. I don't trust Mickey one bit, says Nicholas Myers. And that left side is wide open. I don't see what Mkhitaryan for Martial does, to be honest. But Andrew Hoare says, watch Mkhitaryan go now with Pogba. Well, we'll see, won't we? We'll see what that does for us. It's because we've got Watford, says Dennis Yakinin. Maybe. I think he'd love to get Pogba off, but Lindelof's been excellent, says Jared Pesserman. Yeah, I think him and Young have been the real bright sparks of this game, haven't they? So the ref's been garbage, and the standard in the Premier League is poor, says Will Smith. I think we're in for a very interesting last 20 minutes, that's for sure. Rashford's gone to the left anyway, and Mkhitaryan's on the right. $84 subscribers to go. Probably gonna, well, we'll see what happens. Jose is the best, says MSH Anta. Mashanta. Hope we win the game, says Irfan Khan. So do I. This has been a nightmare, says Red Devil Dinner. Well, at least we're 1-0 up. We need a second goal. We do, Prince Bruce. Oh, thanks. Tottenham are still losing 1-0, says Mike Rollins. Yeah, well, we could be. That's why we've got to get 3 points, isn't it? I mean, one thing that even slips away from my mind, which is a good point, is that, yeah, we're sort of, oh, we've got to win this game because it's Brighton at home. United have always got to beat Brighton at home. But more importantly is that regardless of whether we're chasing City or not, and there's a double substitution for Brighton here, regardless of whether we're chasing City or not, even if we want to be better than 6th, you've got to beat Brighton at home. You know, people are saying that, you know, yeah, we've got to win this if we want to stay in touch with City. I'm still it's not much. It's not much of a slip behind us when you look behind us. So we've got to grind out the results, because I don't want United to be out of the Champions League. I want United to be in the Champions League. So we've got to be in the top 4. Of course, United should be going for the title. I agree, but I want us to be in the top 4 as well. And you know, 6th to wherever is going to be a big improvement. Spurs have equalised against West Brom. Velo01 says Brighton could have scored 3 today. I don't know. I think Brighton have played well, but have they had a clear-cut chance? No, not really. They've not had a chance where you go, woo. You might not want to go woo anyway. It might be a little bit camp for you, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm slightly worried about United. I think Brighton are coming on us a bit too much. I think it is concerning. Yeah, I do. I think it is concerning, because Brighton are the team with all the energy.
About now. Matic.
Anyway, let's see. Mickey is too slow, says Val Tan. Get out. We're 54 short of 150,000 subscribers, which would be amazing to do, but I thought it looks like Rashford's coming on for Fellaini, which means Lukaku's going on the wing. This is part of the bus now. Fellaini on for Rashford. We're parking the bus, folks. There's zero pace in that team now. Zero pace in that team now. Yeah, what people are saying, why is Lukaku on the pitch? Because Lukaku doesn't get subbed. This is dangerous. I think this is really dangerous. I hope you're right, George. I hope we do get that second goal. And I don't care if it's off Fellaini's bottom. I really don't. Zlatan, how does Zlatan get that shot out there? Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Right, well, squeaky bum time, because this is going to leave a lot to be desired, isn't it? In the reaction show, no matter what. I think it's fair to say there's going to be a lot of reaction, so to speak, because is it, you know. Sometimes it doesn't go to flow, though. You know, football's not, you know, it's not a movie. It's real life, and you know, maybe it's not been great from Manchester United today, but it's certainly, if we get 3 points, we get 3 points, and that would be the minimum that you would want from today's game. Well, we're trying to grind down these last few minutes at the moment. Long ball incoming. I don't think we'll even see long ball. Stephen Mallinson says draw him forward and take him on the break. We haven't got the pace to do that, Stephen. That's the problem. We haven't got the team to hit them on the break because we haven't got the pace there anymore. I mean, it's a lucky goal as well, but we'll take it. Watford 3-0 up still. Devastating result that is for Watford. And 1-1 in the other game. Swansea Bournemouth 0-0. I wish I'd gone with that. I thought that might be that. And I think I've put Daniel on my thing. Lindelof is my man of the match, says Constantine. I'm just concerned that Brighton might get back into this. They're the team that are expressing themselves. It's very hard. I mean, I'm sort, you know, I have to do the match reaction straight after this, and I'm sort of trying to think, you know, ultimately, there's got to be a reason that we do this, that this has not worked out today, and what is that reason? If we're totally honest, what is that reason? Is it the manager? Is it the players? It's alright, I haven't got Mad Marcus with me today, so I'm having to sort of multitask and set the stream up for the match reaction, whilst also keeping in charge of the match, and also trying to, you know, almost ignore this game because it's panicking me. Silly free kick there. Tottenham have scored apparently. That puts them. It's a good turnaround for Tottenham. At the end of the day though, if you're a Tottenham fan, you'll come out of this game and you'll say, yeah, you know what, we were really bad, which we were, but we got 3 points. And at the end of the day, the history books will say 3 points. And I think that is something that us as Manchester United fans should be focused on as well. But what I would also be focused on is the fact that we are giving silly free kicks away to Brighton. And their biggest threat is free kicks. You know what I'm saying? If that, and I tell you what, they should have bloody scored. What are we thinking about that, folks? If you could ever fast forward the last few minutes. Mickey hasn't shown us anything. I've got to be honest with you. I didn't really expect him to. Did you? Just massive part of me just wants to get this game won. For obvious reasons. Come on, United. It is squeaky bum time, isn't it? It really is squeaky bum time. We don't want it to be, but it is. Five minutes left, possibly. This ref will probably add 10 minutes on. That's my concern. I think the headlines for me tonight, and I don't know whether anybody agrees with me, lucky United win. Because it's not been convincing, and I think we all know that if we do win this, I think there's going to be a lot of concern about how we're playing and what might happen against Brighton. Well, we're all concerned about that, but about what might happen against Watford. We can do it, guys. The snaps, we can do it. Tottenham are dropping points, are they? Are they? I'm trying to avoid things here. 1-1. So they are dropping points, yeah. Which, funnily enough, you know, we could have smashed Brighton 6-0. Tottenham expectedly beat West Brom and you're still only 3 points ahead of them. We can scrape a 1-0 win. Tottenham can draw and we'll make 2 points on them. So there are positives, of course. Did Pogba play today? It's a fair point. It's a fair point. Oh, Lukaku's first touch running down the wing there. Jesus Christ. He's worked back well, but his first touch in the first place caused it. I mean, this is the problem with Manchester United now. We applaud that tracking back from Lukaku, but he lost it with the first touch. Have United just become a team that we just base everything on effort now? Or are we going to actually look at the technique and say, that is just not good enough? Five minutes of added time. I think win this game and take the L is what I would say. Oh, please. I just need to, you know, regardless of whether we're challenging for a title or not, I just think this sort of game it's more than that. It's about, this is almost like a top 4 performance. You know, you've got to win it. We can't, these are the games, these aren't the games you win the title in. I mean, looking at the substitutions, Fellaini's holding his knee again. Innocuous. We don't want Fellaini injured anyway because he's leaving, isn't he? Five minutes of added time, everybody, is the news. I mean, fairness, Brighton, let's be totally honest, have not actually created anything in this game of note. So if we get it won and we get out of there, we're happy, aren't we? But it's not over till it's over. I think Fellaini looks alright. He's still running around. I think a few people are a bit worried about him, but I think he's going to be okay. Brighton on the attack. I mean, pretty much been on the attack for most of the game, but United will clear. Oh, folks. Fan cams are going to be really interesting tonight. Really interesting tonight. So make sure, hopefully we'll get them up for you around, what time? 5 o'clock. Hopefully about between 7 and 8. So when you're, when you're having a bit of early tea or something, get on for the fan cams. I think they're going to be really interesting because I think the thinking man's approach to this, or woman's, is going to be very, very interesting as opposed to how important the points are. Of course the points are important, but I just want to say a huge effort for everybody who subscribed today as well. You're welcome to the channel. I hope you're going to enjoy your time on the channel. Don't just watch watch-alongs, get involved with all the shows. We'll be live again at 8 o'clock tomorrow night. We've got match reaction straight after this. I've got my man of the match and I've got my thoughts on the game that I've been writing down. So I'll shoot from the hip as normal, but in relation to everybody who's new, get involved. We've got a fantastic community. We've got live content every day, normally at 8 o'clock, certainly Sunday to Friday, transfer shows and everything. We're going to fall just short, 15 short of 150,000. So it's a shame we haven't done that live on TV, but to be honest with you, I'd take the 3 points for United. And maybe we can do it on the match reaction, which would be great. Jonathan Royston Ford said, I said 1-0 at 16:20. Ashley Young scored, but I think it's going to go down as an own goal. But then again, if his shot's going towards goal, I couldn't see the angle. It should go down towards him. If you haven't subscribed yet, bottom right hand corner, subscribe button and get involved with the community. Fellaini looks like he's okay. I think he'd hurt his knee a little bit, but he looks fine. Mourinho's moaning on the bench. Shocking from United today is what I would say, but ultimately there's a lot of people left already as well. I wouldn't leave. Would you leave? Would you leave early from that? I don't think I'd leave, because it's like, it's not nailed on. We're going to win. And United have won the game. Fantastic. Absolutely. Well, actually, let's not over-egg the pudding. No, Manchester United won the game. Great. Absolutely fantastic. We took the 3 points, which is really, really important from a Manchester United point of view. Crystal Palace have just taken the points against Stoke very late on. That's enjoyable as well if you're not a Mark Hughes fan, which I'm not. Not really one for the for match of the day. I'd get yourself in the Christmas mood and maybe watch Love Actually or something tonight. But 3 points is what it's all about, and we've just gone over 150,000 subscribers live on air at the end. So that's the positive from a United Stand community point of view. Thanks everybody. Keep subscribing. Keep getting involved. Very, very welcome. But match reaction is coming. Link is in the video description for you to get over onto that stream. I will be there in about 60 seconds time. My man of the match, my thoughts on the game. I'm going to be quite harsh because we've got Watford at the week on Tuesday and they've just won 3-0 away from home. We've just struggled at home. So there's lots to discuss. Man of the match, want to get your thoughts as well. Click the link in the video description to get on there, or you can go through the homepage. It's already up. Manchester United 1, Brighton 0. Lucky United. I think I've called it. I'll see you in a minute. Give us your thoughts on it. Very good, very tough game, but a win is a win. See you over on there in 60 seconds, and we will discuss the game a little bit more. Thanks for watching. Link in the video description, or go through the homepage. I'll be there in 60 seconds. I think I'm going to go through the homepage.